Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Friday, August 1st, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Texas Rangers versus the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in about 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Friday, everyone. And on the thumb on the left is shortstop stud Corey Seager. And on the right, center fielder superstar Julio Rodriguez. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Texas Rangers. Leading off for the Rangers at third base, Josh Smith. Batting second, playing shortstop, Corey Seager. Batting third, playing second base, Marcus Semien. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, right fielder, Adolis Garcia. Batting fifth, playing center field, Evan Carter. Batting sixth, playing left field, Wyatt Langford. Batting seventh for the Rangers, DHing Jock Peterson. Batting eighth, the former Seattle Mariner first baseman, Rowdy Tellez. And batting ninth, catching today for the Rangers, Jonah Heim. And on the mound with a 7-6 record, an ERA of 4.09, it is Jack Leiter. Now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at left field for the second time ever. Had a great day yesterday. This might be our leadoff hitter until Victor Robles comes back in September, and I like it. Randy Arozarena. Batting second, catching today for Seattle, the best catcher in baseball, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Hit home run number 42 last night. We're looking for home run number 43 tonight. Batting third, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Really starting to turn the corner lately. Let's go, Julio. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman Josh Naylor. Let's go, Josh. Batting fifth, playing third base, good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, Gino. Batting sixth, DHing for Seattle, Jorge Polanco. Batting seventh, playing right field, Dominic Canzone. Batting eighth, playing shortstop for Seattle, J.P. Crawford. And batting ninth, playing second base with an epic home run last night, Cole Young. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 3-4 record, ERA of 3.36, it is Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. Trident's up, let's go M's. And then just a quick update, based on Trent Thornton and his injury last night. A lot of Seattle fans have already heard, but when he took that tumble and fell down off the mound late last night, Trent Thornton's season is over with a torn left Achilles. Very crazy. We thought it might have been an ankle sprain and it would have been minor. I wish the best for Trent. And since Trent now and his season is over, they decided to bring back up Jackson Kowar. Trident's up. Let's go M's. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes and 100 on the Dodo train.
Luis, ¿cuál es la jugada de hoy?
Creo que necesito más poder, Carla.
¿Cómo así? ¿Eres un pro?
No, ando trabajando en mi patio.
Necesitas una maquita.
Just getting ready close to first pitch. And again, a beautiful 6-0 win yesterday. And it really does show you, the vibes that we do have with Gino and with Naylor. Very excited about, not only this particular series, but for this sprint for these last 50-plus games. And again, the Astros just lost. So again, we're getting closer and closer. We're inching in the right direction. And now we're only 4 games back, and pretty soon it'll be 3 games back, 2 games back. We'll be tied with the Astros, and at some point within the next few weeks, it would be a good possibility that we're going to take over the lead in the AL West, but we're going to have to work hard and get it done. Lauren in the building, what's good? Anna in the building, what's good? You're on top of it, absolutely. I got to keep grinding it out. And then we play tomorrow at 1:10, and I'll be doing that. And then just watching SummerSlam night number 1 because the card really isn't the greatest. But then on Sunday, we're going to do a doubleheader. I'm going to do the Mariner game, and we just got to hope that it ends by 4 within about 3 hours. And then we're going to do SummerSlam night number 2, which looks much better on the card. Night 1 looks kind of shitty. Night 2 looks amazing. So we're definitely going to be having a long weekend. Zay in the building, what's good? First pitch from Logan Gilbert to Josh Smith. Grounds out to second. Young is there. Throw to first to Naylor. And that is 1 away. And we'll take an early out by Josh Smith any day of the week. Next up, shortstop, Corey Seager. Logan Gilbert on the mound, Seager in the box. First pitch to Corey Seager, and that goes in play and grounds out to second, throw to first, 2 away. Next up is second baseman Marcus Semien. Top of the first inning, 0-0, Rangers and Mariners. Semien in the box, and Logan Gilbert on the mound. That's what happens sometimes when you're grinding. I don't really have a whole lot of time to take days off, so I got to keep working hard. Some days, voice will be a little bit raspy and whatnot, a little high pitch, low pitch, depending on where we're at. But as long as my voice is going, we're going to keep moving. First pitch from Logan Gilbert to Marcus Semien. Takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. Oh-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking low and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Semien. Let's go, Logan. 3-4 record with an ERA of 3.36. And hopefully we'll be able to get him above 500 sooner than later. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the splitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Semien. One-two pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Semien. And hopefully we can get 6 strong innings from Logan Gilbert. And again, it's all going to be about the pitching staff. 1-2 pitch, and got him. Nice job by Logan Gilbert. And we come out of the first inning unscathed. And now let's see who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, catching for Seattle, big dumper Cal Raleigh. And we're going to be looking for home run number 43 tonight. And batting third, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Trident's up. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on the dono train. Shout out to all the new subs that we've been acquiring in 2025. Appreciate every single one of y'all. Numbers have been up with the likes and the subs and the views and the donos. So I appreciate that. And again, we just want to make sure we're taking advantage here at home, against one of our rivals. Yeah, definitely a good start. But again, we've seen quite a few guys, either start slow, give up a couple runs and then kind of settle in, or be electric, for the first 4 or 5 innings and then get, either fatigued or, the other team kind of finds a rhythm and gets that Uncle Mo and that momentum going. And then you kind of fall apart. So, usually with our starters, they're going to be lights out until they're not. And hopefully we'll be able to get 6 solid innings out of Logan Gilbert, maybe even 7 if he's wheeling and dealing. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0, Rangers and Mariners. Judah in the building. What's good, brother? And on the mound for the Rangers, 7-6 record with an ERA of 4.09 is Jack Leiter. First pitch from Leiter to Randy Arozarena. Fouls it off high and inside, 0-1 count. And I really like the decision to keep Randy as the leadoff hitter, and they should keep him there until Victor Robles is healthy. Leaving JP in the 8 hole is perfect. Less pressure on him to lead off, and Randy can handle that pressure. And I'm really liking the lineup. Randy, Cal, Julio, Josh, Eugenio, Jorge. Amazing. And then if we can get anything out of the last 3, Dom, JP, and Cole, we're in business. And again, we saw Cole Young, with that deep home run, which they originally labeled 470, which would have been the longest at T-Mobile ever, but they recalculated it and they made it 456. But either way, an incredible home run for a guy that is normally a singles hitter. 0-1 pitch. That one is fouled off right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Leiter to Arozarena. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 4-seam fastball there. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0, Rangers and Mariners. Let's go, Randy. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Leiter to Arozarena. And again, Randy's been electric since June 11th, and we want him to continue. Had a walk in his first at-bat yesterday on 4 pitches. Ended up getting a single at the second at-bat. Let's keep it going. 2-2 pitch, in play. And Arozarena flies out to center, and that is 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, big dumper catcher Cal Raleigh. Hit home run number 42, and we're going to be looking for home run number 43. First pitch to Cal Raleigh from Leiter. Takes a strike swinging low and at the knees, 0-1 count. We'll take singles, we'll take doubles, but we'll be looking for home runs with Cal. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Rangers on the mound, big dumper in the box. Oh, sorry to hear that. Hopefully you'll be getting better sooner than later. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Leiter on the mound, big dumper in the box. Let's go, baby. One-two pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes big dumper, and that is 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, center fielder in the 3-hole, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. We'll take singles, doubles, triples, and we'll be looking for home runs out of Julio as well. Want to strike early and strike fast if we can, but we might have to wait for someone like Gino to kind of get the ball rolling, or Josh Naylor. But whoever it is, we can feed off that emotion. And again, all it takes is that first guy to kind of get the ball rolling, and we got that first run and never looked back. Nice 6-0 victory last night. First pitch from Leiter to Julio. Pitches high and inside with a slider. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and away. Four-seam fastball there. 95 plus miles an hour by Leiter. 2 balls and no strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Two-0 pitch. In play, back, into right field, and caught. And that is the end of the first inning. Pretty similar start that we had from yesterday. It may take 3, 4, 5 innings before we get going. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Let's see who's up next here for Logan Gilbert here in the top of the second inning. Next up for the Texas Rangers, 4-hole cleanup hitter, right fielder Adolis Garcia. Batting second, center fielder in the 5-hole, Evan Carter. And batting third, left fielder in the 6-hole, Wyatt Langford. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Yeah, appreciate the Red Sox victory over the Astros. We appreciate that very, very much. Yikes, it's been that bad where you can't even sleep, huh? Well, prayers up for you and the fam, and, hopefully you'll be able to have a fast and healthy, speedy recovery. Get in here in the top of the second inning. Logan Gilbert on the mound, Adolis Garcia in the box. And if you're just tuning in, Trent Thornton, after he collapsed, on the mound yesterday, he thought it was a sprained ankle, and it ended up being much worse, a torn left Achilles. Season is over for Trent Thornton, so they're going to have Jackson Kowar obviously get the call up, and we'll see how long that will last. First pitch from Logan Gilbert to Adolis Garcia, fouls it off high and away. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Let's go, Logan. Dancing Dog in the building. What's good? Papa Don in the building. What's good? Top of the second inning, 0-0, Rangers and Mariners. And every starting pitcher has been a little shaky besides Castillo, and hopefully Logan will be able to change that. 0-1 pitch, and lined out to center, and that is out number 1. Next up, center fielder in the 5-hole, Evan Carter. First pitch from Gilbert to Carter, high and away, four-seam fastball. 96 miles an hour by Logan Gilbert. 1-0 count. One-0 pitch. Fouls that one off high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the second inning, 0-0 here with the Rangers and the Mariners. 6-0 win yesterday with the debut of Eugenio Suarez and Naylor's first game at home as well. And again, it really does give us that lift on offense that we desperately needed. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Carter. Come on, Logan, finish strong here. 1-2 pitch, low and away, and at the knees, slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Carter. Now Gino's in the 5-hole. I would assume that'll be, not necessarily permanent, but that's a good, spot for him at this point with the roster that we have. One-two pitch. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off. High and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Carter. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off again with the curveball right down the middle, 82 miles an hour. 2 balls, 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 0-0 Rangers and Mariners here early. Gilbert on the mound, Evan Carter in the box. 2-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. Slider that time around, 89 miles an hour by Gilbert. 3 consecutive foul balls with a 4-seam, curve, and a slider. Logan trying to wheel and deal here early. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, and 1 out. 2-2 pitch, and strike 3, right down the middle, looking. Got him. Let's go, baby. Nice job by Logan Gilbert with that punch out. We'll take it, baby. 2 away. Next up, in the 6-hole, left fielder Wyatt Langford. Let's go, Logan. And again, I don't think anyone really anticipates any of the starters, getting 10 Ks all the time. But, you can find ways to win when you get 4 to 7 Ks if you get a bunch of pop-ups and ground outs. But, I would assume every pitcher is going to be shooting for like 7 to 10. And hopefully we end up getting that here tonight. First pitch from Gilbert to Langford takes a strike looking high and away with a 4-seam fastball. 0-1 count. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Dad mode. Eli in the building. What's good? 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Langford. Top of the 2nd inning, 0-0 Rangers and Mariners. And hopefully we'll be able to, not be so slow starting like we typically have been. But again, Gino is one of those guys, that can get it started defensively like he did with the double play. Had that big, hit down towards third base that kind of got the party started. And we may need that again. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the splitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Gilbert on the mound, Langford in the box. Flying Monk in the building. What's good? 1-2 pitch, low and away with the splitter. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Langford. There we go. We got a dono off the board here somewhat early. To Dalahala. Said donating this much for M's home runs. Love it. Stacks. Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. We're at 2.98 to go. And every dollar counts. It doesn't matter if it's going to be $1, $2, 5, 10, 20, 50, a hundo. Every dollar matters. Every dollar counts. Everything positive linking towards the channel, obviously, is much appreciated. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And down goes Langford. Beautiful. That's what I'm talking, baby. And another punch out by Logan Gilbert. Way to bring the electricity early with Cal Raleigh behind the plate. I love it, baby. Let's go. Go to the bottom of the 2nd inning and let's see if we can get on the board. Next up, first baseman in the 4-hole, Josh Naylor. Batting 2nd in the 5-hole, good vibes only. 3rd baseman, Eugenio Suarez. And batting 3rd, DHing in the 6-hole, Jorge Polanco. And if you look at this roster and this team, 2022 was a pretty good team. But if you're looking at talent, This might be the most talented team that we've had since 2001 in Ichiro's rookie year. And we really have only had two good teams from 2001 until now. 2001 with Ichiro when we won 116 games. And obviously in 2022, when Cal Raleigh hit the home run off the Athletics that got us in the playoffs for the first time in 20 plus years. This team feels special. Bottom of the second inning, 0-0, Rangers and Mariners. Cool kid in the building. What's good? Anything that you want to see for a quick photo in between innings, let me know, and I got you. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Gained another sub. Only 48 to go now to get to 21,300. Got a chance to go to downtown earlier this afternoon. We got some games in at Ground Control, a 2-story arcade. That was a lot of fun. Got some really good food from Bays, an amazing chicken spot here. I'm not sure if they're all over the United States, but obviously they have a few locations here in Oregon. Fantastic homemade mac and cheese and great chicken sandwiches and chicken tendies. Great sauce selection as well. The honey mustard I had was almost like a sriracha honey mustard combo together. It was insane. And again, when you end up finding different combinations of, different sauces where it may not be one or the other, but it's almost like a hybrid. It definitely made for some interesting options moving forward. And then got a chance to, go and kind of walk around a little bit and, check the scenery out, which was pretty nice, actually. And then ended up going to go get some donuts at a famous donut place here in Oregon. The Voo to the Do. First pitch, fouls it off right down the middle from Josh Naylor, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Leiter to Naylor. Let's go, Josh. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees with the slider, 88 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Leiter to Naylor. And the cool thing, even though I think haters and outsiders are going to, complain, but if you do have like a famous pastry or donut shop in your hometown, and stuff gets a little expensive where you're having to pay like $5 for like a single donut. No, that's a fucking lot. I get it, but again, some of these, you can tell are a little bit advanced than the regular donut as Naylor grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, 1 away. And it's not like you have to buy a dozen, or even a half dozen. You can buy a couple, and just kind of go from there. But the cool thing about this location in downtown, it's always packed, but obviously we got to a point where there wasn't that much of a line. But they always do, certain, kind of seasonal, options. And they also come up with brand new creations pretty often. They had a new one today that I had to try called Shark Bite, kind of based off the theme of Shark Week and Shark Fest on Nat Geo and Discovery Channel. And it was incredible, let me tell you. First pitch from Leiter to Eugenio Suarez, takes a strike swinging low and at the knees, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch in play, and Suarez singles on an infield single to third, baby. That's what I'm talking about. And it shows you the type of impact. I read an amazing article about Gino and changing up his batting stance. And again, when we had him on the team, he struck out a lot. But there was a point where he was on the Diamondbacks and they were close to cutting him. And then he ended up working, with some of the guys, the hitting coaches there on the Diamondbacks, and told him to change his approach with how he holds the bat and based on the open angle, of the bat, instead of and having it kind of rest on his shoulder a little bit instead of having it up, too high. And sometimes just minor adjustments, like on how you hold the bat, how you open your stance, how you end up making those minor adjustments could end up being the difference between, being on a team or getting cut or actually being one of the top 10 hitters in baseball since last July. And that's what Eugenio Suarez has been. And again, will he continue to be a top 10 hitting player for the rest of his career? No, but definitely a different player that we have now compared to when we last had Eugenio Suarez. Good vibes only. 2-0 pitch. Takes the strike swinging high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out. Bottom of the second inning, 0-0, Rangers and Mariners. But it just feels, with Gino there, it's the guy that everyone loved. No one wanted to see him go. He's a fan favorite, a coach's favorite, a player favorite. And again, not only does he give you defense and home runs, but he gives you that good vibe. And again, you need to have guys like him and Victor Robles. It's essential. 2-1 pitch. In play, and Polo crushes it into right. Suarez hustling to third, safe. And we have runners at first and third now with 1 out. Let's get on the board, baby. And again, I think it is really going to help a lot of the other guys in the lineup. Randy, Cal, Julio, Dom, JP, and Cole by having Josh and Eugenio on this team now. Polo, I see you. Next up, right fielder Dominic Canzone. And again, everyone's going to, get to a point where they're hot, and there's going to be others that struggle. But I would assume Dom, JP, and Cole are going to feed off the vibe and aura of the top 6 in the lineup. Bottom of the second, runners on the corners at first and third. Polo with a beautiful single there into right. And hopefully we'll be able to bring him home. And just misses a home run by about 3 feet. Would have been sweet if Polo would have homered with a 2-0 lead, but you got to be patient. First pitch to Dominic Canzone, low and away with a curveball, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, fouls it off high and inside. 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour by Jack Leiter. 7-6 record, ERA of 4.09, so nothing to get too worked up about. And Dominic Canzone in right field in the box. Let's go, Dom. Give me an RBI single. Best case scenario, a 3-run blast, but we don't necessarily need that right now. 1-1 pitch. Pitch is low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike with runners at first and third and 1 out. Leiter on the mound, Dominic Canzone in the box. But if anyone wants to be able to read, these articles, I highly recommend people download the MLB app. And then if you actually download that and, if the Mariners are your favorite team, you can scroll down, after you go through some of the options, and then there'll be a few articles that you can click on right on the main page off the app. A lot of them are very good reads, and they're going to be people that, follow the Mariners. Some are going to be the beat writers, and sometimes they're going to be national guys that are doing the story. But most of the content on there that are related to the Mariners is very, very good. 2-1 pitch. Pitch is low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. 3-1 pitch. And good eyes by Dom, and that is bases loaded now with a walk. And again, I'm telling you, when you have great players like Randy, Cal, Julio, Naylor, Gino, and Polo, again, less pressure for guys like Dom, JP, and Cole. And they know that they're going to have to step up. But again, hopefully this will be a good opportunity for JP to kind of get out of his funk. And it started to feel like maybe he did yesterday. Let's see what he can do here. They're going to have a mound visit. And obviously, best case scenario for JP being a new father, getting a grand salami with the mustard and rye bread and us going up 4-0 right out of the gate. He is due for a home run. It's been a minute. Homered on Father's Day, waited a few weeks, homered again. And JP is not a guy that's going to give you 20 home runs plus, but again, it could be a guy that gives you, somewhere between 6 and 16 home runs, throughout a year, unless he ends up getting super hot early, where he may be able to get you 20 or 25 at one point before he retires. But hopefully JP can get at least a single or get walked so we can have a 1-0 lead. Let's go, JP. Bottom of the second inning, Leiter on the mound in a jam with bases loaded and 1 out. No fucking double plays. You hear me? 1-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging high and away. 4-seam fastball by Jack Leiter, 99 miles an hour. Ooh-wee. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Oh, Adam Frazier. 1-1 pitch. Pitch is low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike with bases loaded and 1 out. 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with bases loaded and 1 out. JP in the box, Leiter on the mound. Yeah, and, it takes a lot of time. Nobody that does baseball on YouTube does it like I think myself. I put a lot of time and energy, with the thumbnails. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes JP, unfortunately. 2 away. But, I take a lot of time and effort and energy with the thumbs, to give you, fresh new looks. And on top of that, the prep that's involved, with the reading and the film study and the photos, the HD and the 4K and the whole, shebang, it definitely takes a lot of work, but it definitely is worth it. Not only for me, but for you guys as well. All right, let's see if Cole Young can come up big here now with 2 outs. Ended up hitting a home run that was listed 470 feet, double-decker last night, but they ended up reconfiguring the number to 456. But either way, when you end up hitting a home run that's almost 500 feet, and not only that, you're a singles hitter in the 9-hole, pretty amazing stuff, and hopefully Cole can get something here. First pitch, low and at the knees with a curveball, 1-0 count. Come on, Cole. We don't necessarily need a home run, just a single, and it'll make it 1 or 2-0. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike with bases loaded and 2 outs. And a lot of times when we get bases loaded in the first 2 innings or runners at second and third or first and second, we don't knock them in all the time, but maybe today will be a little different. 1-1 pitch, pitch is high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike with bases loaded and 2 outs. Cole Young in the box and Jack Leiter on the mound. And I try to be able to make, baseball fun, and again, some people aren't going to get why we love baseball. It's either you have a connection to a sport like baseball, basketball, hockey, NASCAR, or wrestling, or you don't. Obviously college football and the NFL are the easiest to watch and they have a lot of fans, but again, you can always put your own spin on things. And I think that we've done pretty well with that here. 2-1 pitch. Inside, 3 balls and 1 strike to Cole Young, and 3-1 pitch. And he definitely doesn't. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Good eye there by Cole Young. Doesn't swing, and we end up getting a freebie run from third. Suarez scores 1-0 Mariners. Great job. And again, it may not be the sexiest way to score a run, when you end up taking a walk, but it's definitely a hell of a lot better than striking out and feeling like a failure, leaving 3 guys on base and you couldn't knock them in. Great job by Cole Young, but not trying to be someone that he's not. And that's what I really respect about some of the new guys, with Ben and Cole. They do what they know. Same thing with Miles Mastroboni. You're not going to see him try to be some guy that he's not, trying to swing for the home run and moonshots every at-bat, and I respect that. First pitch to Randy Arozarena. Pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. Let's see if Randy can make this interesting. 1-0 Mariners, tridents up. 1-0 pitch, fouled off high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Let's get this game out of hand early, baby. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. You haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes on the stream and 100 on the dono train. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, baby. And I'm repping the 2023 MLB All-Star cutoff from the game just a few years ago. Definitely got to be able to rep the gear. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with bases loaded and 2 outs. 1-0 Mariner lead with Leiter with a walk to our 9-hole hitter that brings in a runner from third with the bases loaded. And we want to be able to add on a little bit more. You want to make sure you're capitalizing when you strike when the iron is hot. You never know when the next time we're going to have bases loaded. Hell, this might be the only time we have bases loaded all game. So let's see if we can get one more. 2-2 pitch. That one is fouled off high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with bases loaded and 2 outs. 1-0 Mariner lead. Come on, Randy. Let's go, baby. Bring that electricity. Yeah, plus it's almost like storytelling, when you're going through, because a lot of times, people don't know what the players look like. And even when you watch the game, unless it's like someone making a catch in the outfield, it's not like they're zooming in on everyone's face all the time. So I think it's kind of nice that we can educate, not only the Mariner fans, but also all the MLB fans, not only the teams that we're playing against. So that way we can get familiar with our opponents, as well as, our own very team. 2-2 pitch. That one is fouled off, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with bases loaded and 2 outs. 1-0 Mariner lead. And I'm just itching for just one more. Give me one more. Come on now. And even if it ends up being a walk, I'm cool with it. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Oh, count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes with bases loaded and 2 outs. Give me one more walk. Be patient, Randy. If it's there, swing. But if not, let it go. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and Randy misses. Damn it. That could have been big. End of the second inning, 1-0 Mariners. But on the bright side, at least we got one. There's been a lot of times where we had runners at first and second and third, bases loaded, even sometimes with bases loaded and no outs. And typically when that happens, you would assume you would get at least one, probably 2 or more. But that's not always the case with the Mariners or any team. But again, could have been a big inning. It wasn't, but at least we got one and we got the party started. Let's see who's up against Logan Gilbert here. 3-4 record, ERA of 3.36 after missing the first half of the season. And hopefully Logan will continue his greatness. Next up for the Rangers, 7-hole hitter, DHing Jock Peterson. Batting second in the 8-hole, former Seattle Mariner first baseman Rowdy Tellez. And batting third, catcher in the 9-hole, Jonah Heim. And fire photo. I love photos that are unusual, and you never really see amazing catcher photos. So anytime I can find one where you can see a catcher in action, this probably is the best one out of any one that I have. And again, I'm always looking to be able to give the best of the best. And this one is very clean. It's got that electricity, baby. Trident's up. Let's go M's. 1-0 Mariners. And if you're just tuning in, we had bases loaded. Cole Young decided not to swing, got a walk. Suarez scores from third. 1-0 Mariners. Let's go, baby. First pitch from Logan Gilbert to Jock Peterson. Takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. Yeah, and again, I know when people look at the records, they assume that when we play teams like the Rangers and the Astros that it's going to be hard, but it's kind of the opposite. When we play the Rangers and Astros, we have a great record. We can beat good teams. The problem is when we play down to the competition and play teams like the Angels and the A's, the White Sox and the Marlins, teams like that, where most fans would think, oh, this is going to be easy because they have a bad record. But that's not the case. When you play down to the competition and they end up, getting a few runs early, sometimes when you get sucker punched in the mouth, you can't recover and you don't get up and then you end up losing. You might fight back a little, but every team goes through that. Not only in the MLB and the NBA, NHL, NFL. Sometimes there's just certain teams that know you inside and out, like the Athletics and the Angels do. And, the records go out the window in every rivalry matchup is within the division. You can throw the records out the window and, those teams are going to play us tough. And they have. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Peterson. Yeah, Rowdy definitely channeling in the Bartolo Colon. I mean, if he was playing football, he definitely would be a lineman trying to get a thick 6 for a score. Definitely is a big boy, that's for sure. 1-2 pitch in play, and Jock gets hit by the pitch. And that's unusual for Logan Gilbert. Hopefully Hopefully Jock is okay. I don't want to see any player get hurt. And we're not a dirty team. We don't throw at people. So obviously there should be no issue here. Next up, for the Rangers, former Seattle Mariner, thick six, first baseman Rowdy Tellez. Top of the third inning with a runner at first and no outs. I'll take a strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout. Let's go. First pitch from Gilbert to Tellez. Pitch is low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Top of the third inning, runner at first with no outs. That's awesome, Libra. I never got a chance to meet Trey, but I did get a chance to meet Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. when I was 7. And let me tell you, Ken Griffey Sr. and the Griffies, if you had to say one thing about them, it's respect. And, such well-spoken, respectful people, always treating everyone with open arms. And again, you're not going to get that out of every player, or every player's dad that was, in the big leagues also. And, definitely was a pleasure to be able to, meet both of those guys. And it definitely shaped me to who I am today, 100%. Top of the third inning, 1-0 Mariners. Gilbert on the mound, Tellez in the box. 1-0 pitch. And Tellez gets a nice base knock. And Peterson ends up scoring on a fielding error by Canzone. Come on, Dom. And just like that, we're knotted up at 1. We can't have fielding errors, baby. Come on, Dom. We need Victor Robles back, but he's not ready yet. You got to play up to your potential, Dom. Let's go. And obviously, Luke Raley is hurt, and we don't want Dylan Moore out there. First pitch to Jonah Heim. And grounds out to second. Tellez to third. I was going to say, they're starting to get on a little mini rally there. But a nice hit by Rowdy Tellez against his former team. I'm not surprised. And I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up getting a big home run at some point before the series ends, to get back at Seattle. But hopefully it ends up not costing us the game. I like rooting for former Mariner players, just not when they're playing us. First pitch from Gilbert to Smith. High and away, 1-0 count. And Logan's getting he's been, it was good up to this inning, and whatnot. And again, as long as he gives up 3 runs or less, we should be in business. 1-0 pitch, fouls it off right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Smith. Rowdy Tellez on third, salivating, wanting to be able to get home. Jamie Moyer and Bartolo Colon, they were special in their own right, too. Jamie Moyer is super underrated. I don't think people really gave him the proper appreciation. And Bartolo Colon, for being a thicker guy, he had some stuff and had a pretty long, extensive career. 1-2 pitch, fouls it off, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at third and 1 out. 1-1 Rangers and Mariners. I knew he wasn't good enough to be on the team, but I always root for guys, no matter, if they're on the team now or if they were on the team. Obviously Hollywood Josh Rojas, anytime that someone is playing for the Mariners, obviously we're going to be rooting for their success. But just guys like Ben Williamson, that are young, and obviously a good defender, but may not be able to hit up to this level yet, doesn't mean that they won't get there. But yeah, I definitely did like Hollywood Josh Rojas. But again, you're not going to be probably as good sometimes after you leave Seattle. And sometimes you are. I mean, Seattle is the hardest park to hit at. So you go somewhere where it's got an easy park with dimensions and some wind, and you're struggling, as a 180, 200 hitter, you may be able to get that to 250 to 280 in an easier ballpark. That's facts. 2-2 pitch. That one is fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Smith. Top of the third inning. We're knotted up at 1. We got to keep Rowdy Tellez at third. Gilbert just trying to find the right rhythm here. Top of the third inning, 1-1, Rangers and Mariners. We got a run based off a walk with bases loaded. And oh my, a big hit there by Josh Smith. Rowdy comes in, and the Rangers are feeling the heat. 2-1 Rangers. And I was hoping that we were going to be able to keep Rowdy there at third, but, right in between the gap, there was no chance for a play there. Nice job by Josh. Next up is shortstop Corey Seager. All right, we're down 1. Let's not get being, down by 2 or 3 here. Let's, stop the bleeding, and that way, hopefully, our bats will be able to come alive. 0 for 1 for Corey Seager. Top of the third with 2 outs. First pitch in play, and grounds out to first. Smith, though, safe at second. Come on, Logan, settle in, my guy. Next up for Logan Gilbert, hopefully the last batter in this inning, Marcus Semien. First pitch from Gilbert to Semien, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Yeah, but also you have to remember, Anna, this is the first year in like 15 years that our pitchers have been hurt. We've never had pitchers hurt before. And again, anytime you miss, half of the first part of the season, or you end up playing through an injury and still haven't recovered, Bryce Miller, or you end up missing the first 50 plus games, George Kirby, you have to understand they're not going to be what we remember them from a few years ago. Again, they're not healthy. So again, they're trying their best to be able to get back to where they were, but again, there's a reason why, Brian Wu has the record in the ERA that he does. But even with that being said, he's been roughed up lately. So, sometimes it's going to take a little time, to be able to get back into a good rhythm. And sometimes you just got to give credit to the other team. Logan Gilbert is good, but it's not like the Rangers are a bunch of fucking scrubs. They have some good players. And again, they're going to be able to get hits, RBIs, and home runs on us, not just the Rangers, but everyone. You just have to try to limit the damage so that way we don't bleed out. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Semien. Because I highly doubt, if Kirby and Miller and Gilbert, if they weren't hurt, how many more wins would we have? What's the ERA look like, for each individual as well as the team? It would be a hell of a lot better. 2-1 pitch in play, and Semien with a double to center. Come on, Mariners. Next up is Adolis Garcia. 3-1 Rangers. But at least on the bright side, when we end up giving up runs and big hits and RBIs to the other team, if this was in 2023 or 2024, maybe the game is already over, right? We were only batting 180 to 220 as a team, and normally only had 1 guy that could hit out of 9. So now, we have a, nice group of players, and we brought our batting average up from 180 to 220 as a team to 240 to 250. So even though this sucks and it's shitty, seeing our pitchers get beat the fuck up, but at least that we know that we have the players to come back. And we can't really say that from the last 2 years. Again, we're in a very good position in 2025, even though we have to go through these moments. There's going to be peaks and valleys. It's not going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy all the time. First pitch from Gilbert to Garcia, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Chris in the building, what's good? It's almost like incredible bad luck, right? Like, what are the chances of a guy getting hurt in our starting 5, but let alone 3 of them, and we've never had that before, 0-1 pitch in play, and Garcia finally pops out to second, and we get out of the inning, but we don't get out unscathed. And this is all that Logan can give up, but I know that we're going to be able to bring the bats, and they're going to come alive. And again, we're always going to be putting our best foot forward when we play good teams. What we have to worry about is when we play teams that are bad or have, bad records that we take maybe for granted. We're never going to take the Rangers or the Astros for granted. We're coming for blood no matter what. We just have to make sure we're doing our job. Let's go to the bottom of the third and let's try to tie this up. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a K. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And we're looking for home run number 43. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Batting second, 0 for 1, center fielder, working better in the box with his patience, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go J-Rod. And batting third, 0 for 1, first baseman, Josh Naylor. Work the count. Don't swing at garbage in the first 2 pitches like Julio did at the beginning of the year. Let the game come to you. And if Josh Naylor does that, not only will his home runs increase dramatically, but his base hits per game will as well. You know, I know that fans would love to be able to see him go 3 for 5 or 2 for 5 once in a while instead of going just 1 for 5 or 0 for 5. So again, we appreciate even if he gets a hit, you know, but these just little subtle adjustments could help Josh get 2-3 hits in a game, you know, compared to just getting 1. And again, if that 1 ends up being a home run, great. But if it's just a single, that may or may not help us win. But if you can get 3 hits out of 5 once in a while, you know, and you get a home run, an RBI, and a single, you know, those could be things that really help us go to the next level. Facts. Let's go to the bottom of the third, 3-1 Rangers. Let's go big dumper. First pitch from lighter to big dumper, Cal Raleigh, high and away with a 4-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour by Jack Leiter, 7-6 record, ERA of 4.09. And again, it feels like with the Mariners starters, you know, normally the ERA was in the 2s or the 3s as, you know, a starting 5, and now it's like in the 4s and the 5s. You know, we used to have like the number 2, you know, starting pitching staff, and then now it kind of floats between 11 through 15. So it's still pretty good, but it's a considerable drop off when we normally are sitting at like 2, you know, for a pitching staff. And now we're at like, you know, 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15 on any given night. So definitely the health and the injuries have been a factor, but also we've been getting fucked up kind of lately, even with these guys, you know, somewhat healthy. 1-1 pitch in play, and Cal with a nice single to center, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Nice job, Cal. You know, and again, most of his hits are going to be home runs. We get that, but we also want to be able to get the occasional single and double. Nice job, big dumper. We'll take it. Next up for the Mariners, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And I'm really proud of Julio's progression. You know, he's normally a 300 hitter after the All-Star break, and he's, you know, been able to do that for quite some time. Cole with a double holla. Appreciate you. Every dollar counts. Stacks. Racks with the little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. We're at 3:97 to go to hit the goal. We're at 70, 30 more to go to get to a hundo. Let's get it, baby. First pitch from lighter to Julio. Takes a strike swinging high and inside. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouls it off, low and away. We want to stay away from 0-2 counts, Julio. No balls and 2 strikes from Leiter to Rodriguez. 0-2 pitch, high and away. Now, if that was in the beginning of the year, that would have been strike 3. So good eye by Julio. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and no outs. Rangers with a 3-1 lead early. But I think that, you know, we will come back. You know, I'm not sure if we're going to come back and win, you know, but hopefully, you know, we can get a nice rally going. And again, we have the team to do it, especially with the addition of Naylor and Suarez to this lineup. It's one of the best in the American League and one of the best overall, 1 through 9. And once we get Victor Robles in the lineup, it might end up being one of the very best. So I can't wait to see what happens when Victor comes back, and hopefully he'll be healthy in September. We're going to need him for the playoff push. You know, give you a better defender in right field than Dom, and gives you a great bat that can bunt, get singles, doubles, home runs, and has incredibly great vibe, just like Gino. Can't wait for that. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, baby. 2-2 pitch, fouled off by Julio. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and no outs. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Julio. 1 away. Next up, first baseman in the 4-hole. 0 for 1, Josh Naylor. Let's go, Josh. They don't got a whole lot for Gino just yet, but I'll keep looking to see what I have. I got you. First pitch from Leiter to Josh Naylor, low and at the knees with the changeup, 1-0 count. Leiter on the mound. One 0 pitch in play. Naylor flies out to right, 2 away. Next up is Eugenio Suarez. First pitch to Gino. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Bottom of the third inning, 3-1 Ranger lead with a runner at first and 2 outs. Good vibes only. And I went to go look to see if they had anything kind of new, but most of the photos for Gino, the resolution is not HD or 4K. The dimensions are a little off. And again, there's not really a whole lot, but again, as we move forward, there'll probably be more options for photos from the photographers. We just need a few more games under his belt in a Mariner uniform. 1-0 pitch, or 0-1 pitch, excuse me, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Lida to Eugenio Suarez. One pitch, big swing and a miss, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. And that's true, Cole, because again, he was the one that got the double play that, we don't get usually a lot of those throughout the game, and then ended up getting a clutch hit towards third base. And sometimes you need that guy to kind of get the rally started. And Gino was that guy to get that first big hit. And again, once that happened, we didn't look back and we ended up winning 6-0. So it's not what he does just offensively, defensively. Hell, even if he was a guy that only had 10 home runs right now, not, closer to 40, which he's at with like 36, it still would be the same type of impact. And again, just a good person on and off the field that is well liked by everyone. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And that's nothing there for Gino. And that is out number 3. End of the third inning, 3-1 Rangers. We may have to wait for Leiter to go out before we can really start rocking and rolling, but I still believe in this team. End of the third inning, 3-1 Rangers. That one, resolution isn't the best, but that one doesn't look too bad. And let's see if I can get one more to format. Let's go, baby. That's a good resolution. Let me put these in the bucket in the Mariner file. We can always use these in the future. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on the dono train. Top of the fourth inning, 3-1 Rangers, but we still have live. Down by 2. Let's see who's up next here for Logan Gilbert. First pitch from Logan Gilbert to Evan Carter. Takes a foul ball right down the middle with that slider. 88 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Carter. And on that, Cole Young homer, they initially listed it at 470, which would have been the longest home run out of any player at T-Mobile. But then they ended up recalculating this morning, and they said it was 456. Regardless, 456, 466, or 470. It was an incredible shot, and again, not something that you expect from your 9-hole singles hitter. So it's a good thing. And, Cole is a guy that will probably only be hitting like 5 to 10 home runs a year. But again, that was a big one. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Carter. Top of the fourth inning, 3-1 Rangers. And hopefully once Leiter goes out, we'll be able to get on a nice rally. One-two pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Carter. $33 more likes to hit the goal. We're at 67. Let's get it, baby. 2-2 pitch. That one's fouled off high and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the fourth inning, 3-1 Rangers. Two-two pitch. That one is fouled off high and away. Count still 2 balls, 2 strikes from Gilbert to Carter. And again, the Mariners play at 1:10 Pacific on Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to be doing the Mariners tomorrow. And then SummerSlam is on, but night one's card is a little, I don't want to say crappy, but it's definitely not as good as night 2. 2-2 pitch. And Carter strikes out swinging. Nice punch out by Logan. There we go, 1 away. So we're only going to be doing the Mariners tomorrow, but then on Sunday, we're going to do a double header. I'll be doing the Mariners that starts at 1:10, and then SummerSlam on Sunday starts at 4. So we're going to be doing 2 streams on Sunday, and the card looks much better on Sunday than Saturday, and definitely excited about that. It'll be a long day in the chair, 7 hours straight, but I think it'll be worth it. Next up for Logan Gilbert is Wyatt Langford, who is 0 for 1 with a K. First pitch from Logan Gilbert. Makes a strike looking right down the middle with a 4-seam fastball. 95 miles an hour, 0-1 count. One pitch in play, and Langford with a nice single up the middle into center field. Come on, Mariner Moose, we need your help. I'm starting to get beat up here a little bit. Next up is Jock Peterson. First pitch from Gilbert to Peterson. Takes a strike swinging high and inside, 0-1 count. And another sub. Appreciate you with all the new subs that we've been getting, about 5 to 15 every day. 47 to go to get to 21,300. 0-1 pitch, low and away with the slider. 87 miles an hour by Logan Gilbert. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out. Top of the fourth inning, 3-1 Ranger lead. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jock Peterson. Come on, Logan. You've already given up 3 runs. You can't give up any more. And the magic number for the Mariners, like it is every day, 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. You end up getting that. That should give us a good chance to compete or win. 1-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle with the splitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. We could really use a nice double play by Jock right up the middle to J.P. Crawford to throw to Naylor to get us out of the inning. I mean, I would obviously love back-to-back punch-outs more so Logan can get those numbers under his belt since he's already given up 3 runs, but, we need to get out of innings too. Double play, that's 1 less batter that you have to fuck with. Top of the 4th, 3-1 Ranger lead. 1-2 pitch, fouled off low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Gilbert on the mound, Peterson in the box. And Logan is at 58 pitches. And just like Troy said, Leiter is at 62. One-two pitch, fouled off again, right down the middle. Jock Peterson is not giving up. 3 consecutive foul balls. Splitter, 4-seam fastball, and a slider. So, Cal and Gilbert aren't going to throw the same pitch over and over and over again. They're trying to be able to mix it up here. Hopefully Jock will get fooled here at some point. 1-2 pitch. Jock does not get fooled and pulls a beautiful single to right. Wyatt Langford hustling from second and gets into third. Safe. Runners on the corners with 1 out. Now we really need the fucking double play. Let's not fuck around here. We can't get the big 3-run homer by the former Seattle Mariner, Rowdy Tellez. Don't even fucking think about it. We need a double play, Rowdy. You already got your hit. Stop playing with us. Need the double play. Let's go. Now, a nice mound visit here by Cal Raleigh, and again, that's really important, when you can end up, having a little one-on-one, with your elite pitching staff. And again, it's not like if Mitch Garver was catching that he would be able to give the right words of encouragement to, turn shit around, and that's not necessarily just a knock on Garv. Even a young, inexperienced guy like Harry Ford, may struggle with that aspect of his game. But we want to make sure we're getting the right combination of pitches, and you have to understand how to be able to get each guy out. The way that you throw, and the strategy is going to be different from every batter. First pitch from Gilbert to Tellez after that good mound visit. Fouls it off low, but in the zone, 0-1 count. Top of the 4th, we're down by 2. We can't get down by more than this. We want to make sure we're keeping it close. And it just feels like the offense is about to explode in the next couple innings, but we need to make sure we keep it close before that happens. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging, low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes to Rowdy Tellez. And if you pitch him low and away, you might get him to bite and swing, unless we can get a double play up the middle. Come on, Logan. 0-2 pitch, low and inside, but at the knees, and Rowdy does not bite. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Tellez. Come on, Logan. Finish strong, my guy. Gilbert on the mound. Rowdy Tellez, the former Seattle Mariner, in the box. Come on, Ems. Now, this is going to be a very key stretch for these last 50-plus games. 1-2 pitch. There we go, baby. Big swing and a miss. 2 away. That's what I'm talking about, baby. There we go, Logan. And obviously, Leiter and Gilbert could have more Ks at this point. But again, beggars can't be choosers. Next up is catcher Jonah Heim. Fire photo. Best catcher photo on the planet, baby. Beautiful. Top of the fourth inning, 3-1 Rangers. Runners on the corners at first and third, and we need to stall this drive. First pitch from Gilbert to Jonah Heim, low and away with the slider. 86 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Top of the fourth, 3-1 lead. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Gilbert on the mound. Jonah Heim, the catcher, in the box. 1-0 pitch. Gets one to foul off, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners on the corners at first and third and 2 outs. You know, we need a pop-up, a ground out, a strikeout, just something positive to get us out of this inning. Jonah Heim 0 for 1 at his first at-bat. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. High and away. Beautiful pitch there by Logan. High and away on the line with the four-seam fastball. 95 miles an hour. Looking good. 1 more strike, baby. Let's go. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners on the corners. First and third with 2 outs. A critical moment here in the matchup. Us only down 2. And again, we don't want to be down by 3 or 4 or 5. Got to make sure that we end this inning. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners on the corners and 2 outs. One-two pitch, big swing and a miss, and Logan does his job. We keep 2 guys stranded. Great fucking job, Logan Gilbert. There we go. And again, it hasn't been pretty today, but again, he could have had a meltdown, and it might have extended the lead to a point where we couldn't have come back. And luckily now we're still down by 2. Nice job by Logan Gilbert. 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, which is critical, 6 Ks, 68 pitches, 51 strikes. And let's take a look at Leiter. 7-6 record with an ERA of 4.09 coming into the game. And he's got 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 5 Ks, 62 pitches, and 35 strikes. ERA is 4.06. 3-1 Ranger lead. Let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Seattle Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 1, DHing in the 6th hole, Jorge Polanco. Batting second, 0 for 0 with a base on ball, right fielder Dominic Canzone. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Trident's up. Let's go M's. First pitch from Leiter to Polo. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees with the curveball, 84 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Leiter to Polo. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on the Dono train. 1-1 pitch. Low and inside and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Leiter to Polo. Two-one pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Leiter to Polo. Bottom of the 4th inning, 3-1 Ranger lead, and we need to try to get at least one in the next 2 innings. Let's go. Come on, baby, let's go. Two-two pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Leiter to Polo.
Oh my gosh.
2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away, and that is 1 away. We got to get into a rhythm. Next up, right fielder Dominic Canzone. And somebody's got to drop a bunt down at some point. You know, we need to be able to play small ball. We're not getting walked a lot. We're not getting plunked a lot. We need to be able to take advantage of getting good runners in scoring position early and often. And we need to be able to get into a position where we can actually steal some bags and get some runners at 2nd and 3rd. First pitch from Leiter to Canzone, high and away, 1-0 count. Changeup missing there by about 2 feet, 90 miles an hour by Leiter. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Leiter to Dominic Canzone. One pitch, low and away with a curveball. 2 balls and 1 strike from Leiter to Dominic Canzone. And we're doing much better. Now we're at 80. We got 20 more likes to be able to hit the goal. And we have 50 people in the room that haven't done it yet. If we can get about half of y'all to hit that like button, we'll be at our goal. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Leiter to Canzone. And a big swing and a miss on pitch number 4, low and away. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, high and away. Same location as that Polo punch out. And Leiter is cooking, 2 away. Back-to-back punch-outs there on Polo and Dominic Canzone. Jack Leiter, I see you. Next up for the Mariners in the 8-hole, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. Someone's got to get the rally going. It can't always be Cal Raleigh or Julio or Eugenio Suarez. Let's go. First pitch from Leiter to J.P. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Let him know, Ronald. It's a team effort, baby. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Let's go. 1-1 pitch. That one is fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Leiter to J.P. Crawford. Come on, JP. Bottom of the 4th inning, 3-1 Ranger lead. Leiter on the mound, J.P. Crawford in the box. 1-2 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, 2 outs. Leiter on the mound, J.P. Crawford in the box. Come on, J.P. Mariner Moose is rooting for you. Let's go. Two-two pitch in play and popped out to second base, and that is the end of the inning. End of the 4th inning, 3-1 Ranger lead. We may just have to wait for Leiter to go out before we can start matching, but again, I'm hoping that we can get at least one more run somewhere between the 5th and the 6th inning to cut this lead down from 2-1. Next up for the Rangers here in the top of the 5th. Leading off back at the top of the order, 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI, third baseman Josh Smith. Batting second, 0 for 2, shortstop stud Corey Seager. And batting third, 1 for 2 with an RBI and a K, second baseman Marcus Semien. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Somebody's got to step up, baby. All day in the building. What's good, brother? I figured you'd be in here at some point in the matchup. Hope you're having a good day. And we had a beautiful 6-0 win yesterday. Pitching, this year, it's going to be a struggle. Again, everyone just expects, our pitching staff to be like they were previous to the injury, and again, all the starters getting 10 Ks, everyone being lights out 99% of the time. And unfortunately, that's just not the case, but at least the hitting has gotten better. The bullpen has been better. Thornton ended up having an Achilles tear, so his season is over. Jackson Kowar gets called up. And again, we're only maybe a month away from Victor Robles. And once Victor Robles gets injected into the lineup, we may end up having one of the best lineups in baseball. I mean, we already do right now, but you add Victor on top of what we have, it's going to be sexy. First pitch from Gilbert to Smith. Takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. Oh, what was for dinner, my guy? And no need to apologize. Again, it's about consistency. And again, you're going to be more consistent than most. So I do appreciate you. 1-1 pitch. And Smith lines out to center, and that is 1 away. Everyone's got, responsibilities with, family and friends and things that come up. And again, I'm just happy that you're here. And maybe now we'll start mashing because you're here. Next up is Corey Seager. But I'm in good spirits. I got a chance to see my best friend earlier today. Got to go to Ground Control, which is Portland's best arcade, which is a 2-story arcade with a lot of retro and newer games within the last 5 to 10 years. And, usually when we go, we try to beat at least one game when we go. But got a little Star Wars in, got a chance to do a little bit of NBA Jam, NBA Hang Time, Mortal Kombat 2. We played Sunset Riders, which is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up game like Metal Slug, but it's like with cowboys and horses. It's a game that came out from Konami back in like 91. Amazing. We beat that. Played a little bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. It's just nice to be able to have one of those days, walk around and, see the city. And got some chicken from Bay's, which is one of the best places to get chicken here in Oregon. Fantastic. And homemade mac and cheese with a great chicken sandwich with the brioche bun. And then ended up going to Voodoo Donut and grabbed a couple. Didn't go crazy on them. And had to try out some new flavors that they ended up creating just within the last few days. And I had to get a couple of the OG flavors as well. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Seager. But I did try only one of the 4 that I got, and it was called Shark Bite, based on Discovery Channel and Nat Geo's Shark Week and Shark Fest. So obviously had the blue frosting on top, the blueberry jelly in the middle. Incredible. And I can't wait to be able to get into the others, but they are pretty sugary, so I may wait till tomorrow. 2-1 pitch. Low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Gilbert on the mound, Seager in the box. 3-1 pitch. And Seager grounds out to second, throw to first, and that is 2 away. Down goes Corey. Next up is second baseman Marcus Semien. 0 for 2 with an RBI and a K. It's always good when I get to hang out with my best friend because, we always exchange, little knickknacks and gifts, whether it be Mariner stuff, and I have a huge collection. So obviously I'm not going to be able to appreciate every single piece that I own. I have way too many. First pitch to Simeon, popped up and flied out to right. And that is out number 3. But Ichiro just ended up getting in the Hall of Fame, and I've been collecting Ichiro cards since he was a rookie in 2001, and even some stuff when he was on the Oryx Blue Wave in Japan. And I ended up having a little box that probably had, 50 or 60 different Ichiro rookies, and obviously almost every year that he came out, tried to get at least a card, SB, Upper Deck, Bowman, whatever, and decided that would be a cool thing for him to add to the Ichiro collection. And also one of those trophy type of figures that, they have the bronze statues of Ken Griffey Jr. and Edgar Martinez in front of the stadium. And as giveaways at the stadium, they have mini replicas of the statues that are bronzed out. And we both already have Edgar. And I figured, adding a Ken Griffey Jr. to his collection, since I have so many things that, I already have already in the collection would be good. So that definitely made me feel good, something that he can add on, to his dresser or cabinet area. Anytime you can end up building a collection, that's what it's about. And, it's not like I'm going to be able to bury everything with me like King Tut. I probably will end up doing some kind of scavenger hunt for a lot of my collectibles. So that way people can find some gems. But I know he'll never sell any of my stuff, and that's one of the main reasons at the end of the day he'll probably own everything I have or a lot of the stuff that I have. Bottom of the 5th, 3-1 Rangers lead. Let's see if we can get at least a run, maybe even 2. But I know he was shocked by the Ichiros. He probably thought I was, because normally I'll give him like a graded card or 2, or a rookie card here, a rookie card there. But again, when you can build up a huge collection, of cards when he was on mostly the Mariners, and there might be like one Yankee card in there and maybe one Marlin card in there, but it's just nice to be able to do something nice for your best friend. And obviously I ended up getting some stuff from him as well, which is nice. Anytime he can hook me up with some limited edition sodas, snacks, and just other things that he knows that I could use, that'll always make my life a little bit easier. First pitch from Leiter to Cole Young, which is high and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, fouls it off right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Leiter to Cole Young. Bottom of the 5th, 3-1, Rangers lead. Let's go. We need to cut into this lead. Come on, Cole. Let's go, M's. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Leiter to Young. Bottom of the 5th, 3-1, Ranger lead. But the cool thing is that, he's a hardcore, Mariner fan, and he can go to certain things like the MLB All-Star game from a couple years ago. I know without even asking, he's going to pick me up, a shirt or jersey or something. And it's always cool to be able to have someone close like that. And really, he's the only one I've ever met that I felt, that shared some of the same type of kind of values and, how we are. Loyalty is everything. Being honest is everything. And, just having a good heart. And, it's just cool to be able to have a friend that will go above and beyond for you. Pretty rare nowadays. 2-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Leiter to Young. 2-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. 3-1 Ranger lead, and hopefully we can get close to narrowing the gap. But let me tell you what, man, going to an arcade, if you haven't been to one in a long time, regardless if it's only pinball or, old school games, a lot of fun, let me tell you. Ended up playing a Rambo game where you ended up having like this big machine gun that kind of rattles and makes crazy noises and whatnot. Never played it before. And it even had cutscenes from the movie. Pretty cool. You never know what you're going to be able to find at any arcade nowadays. 2-2 pitch. That one's fouled off again. 3 consecutive foul balls here by Cole Young. And he's approaching the 10th pitch in the at-bat here shortly. 2-2 pitch, fouled off again. High and away. 4 consecutive foul balls here from Cole Young. Come on, baby. Let's go. Curveball, four-seam fastball, changeup, four-seam, slider, four-seam. Slider is throwing him in the kitchen sink and everything in it. Come on, Cole. And I think I appreciate at-bats like this when you end up finally getting a hit almost the most. You know, when you go 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pitches and it looks like you're going to strike out and then somehow, some way, you eventually get like a single, you know, a double, or you get walked, it's got to be a great feeling. You know, nothing is more defeating than, you know, finally getting struck out after like 12 pitches or whatnot. But when you can get a hit at a long at-bat, that brings the pitch count up and it definitely tires out, you know, the opposing pitcher. 3-2 pitch, fouled off again. Oh my goodness. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. That was the 10th pitch in this at-bat. And, you know, you're not going to see too many pitches go past 10, you know, maybe once or twice a game, unless you're incredibly lucky. 3-2 pitch, fouled off again. High and away. This is comical. Wow. 11th pitch in the at-bat, and he is fucking grinding. Unbelievable. Curveball, four-seam fastball, changeup, four-seam, slider, four-seam, curve, four-seam, changeup. And we're on pitch 12. Keep working, baby. 3-2 pitch, low and at the knees, and he gets a walk. And after Cole's 470-foot smash that got readjusted to 456, if it didn't, it would have been the longest homer at T-Mobile, which is kind of crazy coming from a rookie, and he's a singles hitter. But again, it shows you when you're on a great team, sometimes it brings out the magic in even singles hitters. Good facts. All right, we're in the bottom of the 5th with a runner at first, and again, Cole working the count, you know, 10, 11, 12, 13 pitches in. Hopefully now at the top of the order, we can knock him in. First pitch from Leiter to Randy, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Come on, Randy. We need that mean mug face in gear. Let's go. I really like Cole. I've always liked him, you know, even when he was in the farm. And then again, when we can get one of his buddies, Colt Emerson, to come up when he's ready, eventually that'll end up taking JP's job at shortstop. And again, you're going to have the right blend of new and old, you know, OGs and vets. And Rosarina, 0-1 pitch in play and fouled out at third, and that is 1 away. Come on, Randy. Next up is Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. 1 for 2 with a K, had a nice single early on. And again, we're going to end up needing another big hit here by Big Dumper. Let's go. Come on, Cal. This would be a beautiful time for home run number 43, wouldn't you say? Tie it up 3-3, take the momentum back, send Leiter packing, and Leiter might be going to the dugout already here. Pitch count, it definitely has gotten up. Let me see where he's at. Yeah, he's got 92 pitches, and that is it for Leiter. And they're going to bring in Milner in next, who's got a 2.52 ERA. So we'll see what we have here with Milner. Let's take a look at the final line for Jack Leiter, and he did a good job, you know, considering we scored 6 fucking runs yesterday, and he was pretty lights out. 4.1 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, which I know he'll be not happy about, but he did get to 7 Ks. 92 pitches, 55 strikes, excuse me. ERA is now down to 4. And obviously that big at-bat for Cole really did it. So nice job, Cole. Work the count, and now hopefully with a new pitcher, we can get Big Dumper to go yard. Trident's up. Let's go M's. They're bringing in a lefty, Hobie Milner, and he's obviously going to make Cal bat right, and hopefully he'll make him pay. First pitch, high and away, 1-0 count to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Hobie Milner on the mound, Cal Raleigh in the box. One 0 pitch, fouls it off high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hobie Milner to big dumper Cal Raleigh. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. And most of the photos obviously are going to be of Cal batting left, but we do have a couple of him batting right. 2-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. Big dumper in the box. Hobie Milner on the mound. 3-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. Count now is full, the big dumper Cal Raleigh. 3 balls, 2 strikes, runner at first and 1 out, and we could really use a little bit of excitement and electricity with a big home run here by Cal Raleigh if he can get it. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes as well as 100 on the dono train. Let's go, baby. 3-2 pitch. That one is fouled off, high and inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. 3-1, Rangers lead. You got to be patient, to be a Mariner fan. You're not going to get everything that you want right away. Sometimes you don't get it at all, but again, with a team that has this many good bats, it's just a matter of time before we get someone to have a fucking meltdown. Bottom of the 5th, 3-1 Rangers, 3-2 pitch, and good eye by Cal, and that is a walk. Here we go. Now we got runners at first and second with 1 out. All right, baby. You've been hot as of late. This would be a great time for a single, great time for a double. But again, if you can end up getting a home run, man, that would be huge right here to take a 4-3 lead and take the momentum back. Give us anything positive here, Julio, even if it ends up being a walk. TFTV in the building. What's good? Trident's up. Let's go, M's. First pitch in play from Julio Rodriguez, and he grounds out into the double play, and the inning is over. Julio, come on, my guy. You got to be able to work the count, Julio. Don't swing at the first pitch against a lefty. Ay, ay, ay. Especially how long it took for Cole to get on base and then Cal to take the walk. And then all of a sudden the inning is over with 1 pitch for Julio. Come on, my guy. Mariners are challenging, though. Gained another sub. Appreciate you. Let's see if Julio ends up being safe. Oh, Julio is safe. Julio is safe. There we go. They're going to reverse this call, I hope. They called him out initially, but in the replay, it does look like he is safe. Let's see what they call. But I think it's pretty clear based on the replays that he is safe. Good effort by Julio running hard to first, which is something that we don't usually talk about that often. Like Randy actually hustling in left field, but you actually have seen quite a bit of improvement by, both of those guys. So 9 more likes to hit the goal. It's overturned, baby. There we go. Great to be able to have the umps make the fucking correct call. Steve is right on it, baby. Let's make it the second chance count. Let's go. Next up is Josh Naylor. Naylor. Oh, he got a big hit. Down to the wall, bounces off with a deflection. That brings in a run. And there we go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Josh, 3-2 Mariners cutting into the lead. Naylor making his presence known. My boy, he was all over it. Make them pay in that second chance. And guess what? We did. Good call, Steve. Let's fucking go. Way to bring that electricity. And it's just nice to be able to have two guys, in the lineup that we trust, in Naylor and Gino. Let's go. Trident's up. We're in it, baby. Let's go. And now we have another mound visit. Meltdown approaching, possibly. Now we have runners at second and third with 2 outs, and Gino can do the same thing. Gino can get you a hit down third base and have it bounce off the wall, and he can bring both those guys home. But at this point, we'll take anything that we can get. Let's go, Gino. First pitch from Hobie Milner to Eugenio Suarez, takes a strike swinging, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Hobie Milner to Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, baby. Milner on the mound. Gino in the box. Come on, baby. The crowd is just ready to erupt. 0-2 pitch, high and inside. Good eye by Gino. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at second and third and 2 outs, and we're a very good 2-out team. Sarah in the building. She loves it. 1-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at second and third and 2 outs. Yeah, it looks like we're at 85. We need 15 more likes to hit our goal. So if you are in the room, again, we have at least 100 people in the room that haven't done it. So you get 15 out of 100, we're good to go. And then we can hit our second goal of 125 on the likes. So take a moment, pause, hit the like button, show some love. Your boy works 7 days a week. And again, we have a great group of people here. 1-2 pitch in play. And Gino, unfortunately, flies out to center. But on the bright side and being positive, at least we got another run. And again, if it's going to be one of those games where we just have to chip away and eventually wait for the meltdown to happen by one of their bullpen guys, so be it. We still got a half of the game to go. And now we're only down by 1 and momentum is back with the Mariners. Let's go. Next up for the Rangers in the 4-hole, 0-for-2 right fielder Adolis Garcia. Batting second, 0-for-2 with 2 K, center fielder Evan Carter. And batting third, left fielder, 1-for-2 with a K, Wyatt Langford. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Now Logan Gilbert is still out there. Let's go over his line if anyone is curious, including myself. 3-4 record, ERA of 3.36 coming in. If he gets the dub, obviously it would be 4-4, but we're not there yet. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, 6 Ks, 77 pitches, and 56 strikes. 3.49 ERA. So, I'd assume that he'll go 1 more inning. I'm not sure if he'll go into the 7th, but we'll see if he can have a quick inning or if he ends up having a long at bat like Leiter did that ends up making him exit. And hopefully we're only down 3-2 after this inning in the 6th. We don't want to be down 4-2, 5-2, or 6-2, even though we do have the bats to come back. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Yeah, man. Good luck charm, brother. You the man. Top of the 6th inning, 3-2, Rangers lead. First pitch from Logan Gilbert to Adalis Garcia, low and away with a curveball, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Garcia. Odin in the building. What's good, brother? Top of the 6th inning, 3-2 Ranger lead. 1 ball and 1 strike to Adalis Garcia. How was SmackDown tonight? Yeah, we've been able to kind of go on a nice little tear, lately. Started really even before the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby. We ended up getting 25,000 people for the Home Run Derby, 16,000 people for the MLB All-Star game, and instead of getting 500 to 1,000 people, we're normally getting about 2,000 to 4,000 on the regular, and then eventually that'll be 5,000, and then once we get to the 5,000 mark on a regular basis, then eventually we're going to try to get to 10, and once we hit that, then we're definitely going to be rocking and rolling. First pitch from Gilbert to Carter in play, and flight out to center, 2 away. I've been working hard, and again, the NFL market is oversaturated, but, obviously the MLB market, there's not as many people. It's harder to do than football, 100%. And again, I got to be able to do this. I'm full-time. I've been full-time, so it's like, if I want to do football, that's only for a couple months. So you got to be able to find other things to do to be able to grind it out. And, I'm going to be doing the Mariners. I'll be doing the Ducks. We'll be doing a lot of NFL football. And when football season's over, we'll do a little bit of Kraken hockey, a little bit of Blazers, a little bit of NASCAR, and we'll continue to do WWE once a month and sometimes even Monday Night Raw. First pitch from Gilbert to Langford, takes a strike swinging, high and away, 0-1 count. I'll do the Seahawks when they end up playing on Monday night, Sunday night, or Thursday night. But usually I'll stick to the matchups on those days. And then depending on, if there's other good matchups, I potentially will, do, but it kind of just depends on, the schedule and what we got going on. So 0-1 pitch, high and away, 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Langford. 1-1 pitch. High and away, 4-seam fastball missing again, 95 miles an hour, 2 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Langford. Top of the 6th inning, 3-2 Rangers lead. 2-1 pitch, fouls that one off, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. And obviously, for me living in Oregon, so, half of the teams I root for are going to be in Seattle. Obviously, meeting Ken Griffey Jr., I obviously devote my loyalty, obviously, to the Mariners, and I have since I was 3. And obviously, I'm going to, have the Kraken under the belt, but I'm not a Seahawk fan. Again, I'm a defensive-oriented fan. So, back in the 90s, I did enjoy the Niners with like Jerry Rice and Joe Montana, but I didn't want to be a bandwagon fan. So I figured after their 5th championship in 94, when I was 12, I didn't think they would win ever again. And I was right. And I just waited 1 more year to kind of see how the league played out. And when the Bucks drafted Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks in the 1st round, and they had John Lynch there and Rondé Barber and Mike Allstott, those were my kind of guys. And, I've been a Buck fan ever since. So, but I don't mind, doing really any team. I'm very familiar with every team, every player. So nothing is going to be like out of character or out of the norm for me. And down goes Langford for out number 3. All right, baby. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th. 3-2 Rangers lead. But I pretty much do everything: basketball, baseball, football, hockey, NASCAR, wrestling. Yeah, the only problem with that, with the red zone style, it really depends on, what your connection is and what you're watching it on. Because it seems like nowadays that everyone is on a different, kind of level. Some people may have it live, others may be slightly delayed. Some people are ahead, so it's kind of hard to be able to be all on the same page. Obviously with a lot of the streaming links and the way that sports has evolved, it's not like, just Fox and CBS and that's it. Things have changed kind of dramatically. Now you get stuff on Netflix and, other streaming platforms and whatnot, but it would be a little tough to go that route. It is a good idea, but I think there's a reason why you don't really see too many people doing that, because most people are watching games. Now, obviously, people are going to be watching fantasy. If you're a fantasy football player, which like a lot of us are, it's always good to be able to get, the touchdowns and what's going on. But the only problem is, a lot of people are invested in actual games. So to actually watch someone going from one game to the next, that might apply, to a certain crowd that loves fantasy and gambling. But how big is that particular number when we're actually watching games? When someone could be calling a game, beginning to end and kind of giving updates in between, or just doing that. So I think there's a reason why you don't see too many people going down that route. Not to say that it wouldn't work. You could, there's people that are talented on YouTube that could do it, but again, most people are leaning towards an actual matchup, especially if they're a streamer and they do their favorite team rather than kind of covering that aspect. So, but at some point you're going to see something probably like that. But I think a lot of people enjoy Red Zone, and they do a good job in what they do every fucking weekend. Bottom of the sixth, 3-2 Ranger lead. Yeah, and I got you, and that's why I try to make, the streams educational. I try to make them fun. I try to give a lot of stats and analytics. And again, when you end up watching a game on TV, they're not going to tell you what pitch and sometimes not the location. So I really try to go deeper than any other streamer and TV to give you the best experience I possibly can, not only for myself, but, for the fans and you guys as well. 2-1 pitch. That one's fouled off, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Milner to Polo. And then on top of that, it's like I got to produce the show on the fly. And I don't think people realize that some YouTubers actually, go through like a link where other people are, actually controlling the stream. And then the streamer is just the one talking. But the person that's actually doing all the button clicking is somewhere else, and like remotely, like when you end up going into like a Zoom meeting, something of like kind of that nature, but for me, it's like, I got to produce the show. I got to do live play-by-play. I got to do color. I got to vibe with the chat. I got to look at like 10 fucking screens at once. So I don't think people really, realize you got to be able to multitask like a motherfucker or you're never going to make it. 2-2 pitch. That one is fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Milner to Polo. But I feel like if people really understood like what it looks like when I work every day and how much time and energy is put in, making the thumbs and watching film and reading the articles, not just on the Mariners, but everyone. I mean, it's a lot of fucking work. 2-2 pitch and a nice single to right by Polo, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Nice job by Jorge Polanco, and hopefully this will start a rally. And next up is right fielder Dominic Canzone. I don't. First pitch from Milner to Dominic Canzone, low and away, 1-0 count. Let's go, baby. Mariner Moose, you ready? Let's get it, baby. 1-0 pitch, and Canzone flies out to right field, 1 away. And, we've had quite a few guys kind of being overly aggressive, and that works when you're, raking left and right. But some of these guys need to be a little bit more patient and wait for that perfect pitch instead of just assuming they're going to get a strike down the middle on the first pitch and the pitcher is trying to get ahead of the count. If you've noticed in baseball in 2025, most pitchers don't go right down the middle for the first pitch to get ahead of the count anymore. That used to be a thing. back in the day, but pitchers really don't do that because a lot of them can throw garbage and know that the hitters like Julio and Naylor are going to swing at anything. And again, until you adjust, again, it's going to be a pitcher's league. They're going to be able to dictate, kind of how the batters approach each at bat. And you have to be smart enough to recognize where the ball is going. Easier said than done, right? 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Milner to JP Crawford. Come on, JP. Bring that electricity, JP. Let's go. 2 balls and 1 strike from Milner to Crawford. Yeah, JP in the 8 hole again. Yeah, I mean, you've been able to see it from the very beginning, and I was looking at the stats, and, we used to be able to get back in the day as JP ends up going in play, grounds out into the fucking double play. Brutal. We've hit into so many goddamn double plays, but, back in the day, we were getting, maybe 20, people in the room, like way back in the day, and then to go from 20 people in the room to 30 to 50 and then to 100. And, we're right now usually well over 100. And we peak usually around 400, 500, which is nice. And again, obviously, the better that the Mariners do and Cal Raleigh, more eyeballs are going to be here. And same thing with the Oregon Ducks, the better they do. And if the Mariners end up winning a championship, a World Series, crown, and the Ducks win a natty, this channel will probably take a big leap, based on those are the 2 main things that I do on top of all the rest, NFL, NHL, NBA, NASCAR, WWE. So, obviously if the Ducks end up winning at some point, which could be possible, and if the Mariners end up winning, it could be a pretty special day here for the NWSF and you guys as well. Go to the end of the 6th inning, 3-2 Rangers. But I like to cover pretty much everyone in the Pac-12 or who used to be in the Pac-12. I'm a very rare, like college football and NFL fan. I watch like all the Husky games, all the Cougs, all the Beavers, all the Ducks. I mean, I'm watching everybody. So especially the teams that are in Oregon and Washington, giving back to the teams in Oregon and Washington in the Pacific Northwest. So it's not like, I'm only watching Oregon and that's it. Like I also will keep up with Ohio State and Michigan and Bama and Georgia. You got to make sure that your competition. So college basketball, I feel, is great during March Madness, but it depending on like what a fan, that you are. Like, if you're someone that's been like a North Carolina or a Duke fan since you were little, that's one thing. But again, I don't really feel that the quality of college hoops during the regular season isn't as good as it is in March Madness, obviously for, main reasons. Tournament style is always great because, everyone has something to gain and, obviously people have something big to lose. Same thing with the NBA. The product is kind of dry during the regular season. Not a lot of effort or pride, but once we go into the playoffs, it's still not the greatest, but slightly better because that you're actually playing for something. First pitch from Gabe Spire to Sam Haggerty, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Come on, Gabe. One-0 pitch. Inside at the hips. 2 balls and no strikes from Spire to Haggerty. Former Seattle Mariner. Top of the 7th, 3-2 Ranger lead. Spire on the mound. Sam Haggerty in the box. 2-0 pitch in play. And Haggerty with a beautiful double. Wow. And again, Gabe Spire is a name, but again, at times he gives up. Big hits, big RBIs, and big home runs. Hopefully we get the good Gabe and not the bad. But giving up a double to fucking Haggerty, that's not good. Next up, pinch hitting is Ezekiel Duran. First pitch from Spire to Duran, fouls it off high and away. 0-1 count. That is a good question. I haven't really deep dived, too much. Obviously I follow the football team to a T, and I used to watch the basketball team, on a regular basis, like in the early 2000s. But lately, obviously if they make March Madness, I'll keep up with them, and a little bit during the regular season. And then for baseball, it's pretty minimal for me. I actually probably follow, more Beaver baseball, just because, that team actually wins championships, and Oregon baseball is kind of a newer, program. It's not like the Beavers that have been around for quite some time, but yeah, I'm not too sure. There may be some additional information that could be out there, but for me, I haven't really deep dived on that topic just yet. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike swinging right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Spire to Duran. You know it, man. All day, day. 1-2 pitch in play, and Duran grounds out to second. Haggerty to third. It's a grind, my guy. But again, when you got dreams and goals, it's like I started this dream when I was, 30. And again, you can start a dream and your goals. It doesn't matter what age you're at, you can make things happen. You just have to be able to have the determination and the passion. And obviously you have to have some type of talent, but you have to have the resiliency and the determination, the passion and the endurance and the belief in yourself that, you can get it done, even if other people don't see your vision. And that includes family, friends, and haters, and people that are, rooting for you to lose, not rooting for you to win. A lot of people want you to do good, but not better than them, but I feel like I'm the opposite. I want everyone to be able to succeed. It's hard to be able to, make dreams and goals come true, but it's hard because obviously if it was easy, everyone would do it. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jonah High. Come on, Gabe, don't let us down. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gabe Spire to Jonah High. Top of the 7th, 3-2 Ranger lead with a runner at third. Don't you dare let that runner come home. We got to keep it within 1 here. Oh, I thought you were talking about like Oregon Duck baseball. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And that is strike 3. Got him. There we go. 2 away. We have this thing called like the Portland Diamond Project. And obviously we were trying to be able to get the funding so that way we could bring the A's to Oregon. But obviously when they decided to go, to Vegas and whatnot, they're going to build their, stadium and whatnot. If there were ever to be like in some kind of expansion, to the MLB, or if another team would be able to come, to Portland from somewhere else, just like the Expos went and become, the Nationals, something like that. Obviously, Portland would be one of the places that could be considered. Just like the Sonics are going to get their team back within the next couple years. I would assume it'll be Seattle and Vegas are going to be the 2 teams that they'll add on in the NBA at some point or another. And Seattle should have never lost their team to begin with. But again, when you have owners that don't want and the city to not put up the money to be able to get, a new location to upgrade, then sometimes shit happens. And then you end up going to OKC. And, I know a lot of, sports fans and, the Seattle and the Pacific Northwest area, they were pretty butthurt, with what happened. And it's not like all of them turned into Blazer or Thunder fans. A lot of them just stopped fucking watching and just watched Mariners and Hawks instead. And then obviously the Kraken are now in Seattle, so they can go that direction for hockey if they'd like. But, it'll be exciting to be able to bring the I-5 rivalry back with the Sonics and Blazers and the Sonics and the Lakers. Can't wait for that. First pitch from Spire to Josh Smith. High and inside, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Spire to Smith. Yeah, and it's been talked about. I thought you were talking about something like with the Ducks, like something that they were planning, but it hasn't really come out. But the Diamond Project in Oregon for an MLB team, that's been something that they've been discussing for years. And it's just about finding a location that would be good enough. But a lot of times where you don't get athletes that come to Oregon, like trying to be on the Blazers, 1-1 pitch to Smith. He grounds out to the shortstop, and that is out number 3, keeping that runner at third. But, a lot of times people like free agents don't come to the Blazers because we don't have really the same type of nightlife as of like Miami or LA or somewhere else. So there's not a lot of hotels. There's some that are out there, but sometimes, certain events, they're not going to be able to accommodate everyone. It's not like they have, 5 different Hiltons available and all these other, luxury places. And there's some areas that are open, but then there's other industrial areas that are pretty closed up. And, there's only a few spots where they could possibly, put a stadium. And obviously it depends if you want to put it like in Portland or if you want to go somewhere like in the burbs or something of that nature. So. Yeah, but also the location is something that's been argued about too, because again, it's like you get some people agreeing on one location and then you get some of these other like millionaires and billionaires that are trying to figure out. And obviously they have other ideas because, there's plenty of places that you could put it in, again, it's just a matter. Do you want it, like in Beaverton, Hillsborough and like the burbs, or do you want it like in downtown Portland, where all kind of the chaos is and whatnot with the traffic and whatnot. So. All right, we're in the bottom of the 7th, 3-2 Ranger lead, and we'll see who's up next here shortly. I would love to be able to get a professional hockey team, obviously Oregon would be cool. Professional baseball team would be cool as well. All we have is the Blazers, the Ducks, and the Beavers. That's really all we have, so. And it's not like I can go to AAA Portland Beaver games anymore because they don't even exist, so. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 7th and see who's up next for the Mariners. 0-for-0 with a run RBI and 2 base on balls, Cole Young. Batting second, left fielder Randy Arozarena, and batting third, catcher Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. First pitch to Cole Young. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Come on, Cole. At a beautiful 470-foot home run yesterday, which was listed at the longest distance out of any player at T-Mobile, but got reevaluated this morning for 456. Still a blast, and not something that you usually would expect from your 9-hole hitter who's a singles hitter, not really a home run hitter. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cole Young. Yeah, but even if Portland ended up getting an MLB team, I wouldn't switch from being a Mariner fan to the Portland team. Like if it ended up being like the Portland Athletics or the Portland A's, my loyalty will be to Seattle for my life. It'll never change. So like when you end up having the things that happened to me in my life, like there's no way, I'm already 40 years in, there's no switching. 1-2 pitch in play. Young grounds out to second, throw to first, 1 away. Timbers are relevant, but I was just talking more of the, basketball, baseball, football, hockey, obviously soccer is something that, with the Timbers and the Sounders, it's big, in the Pacific Northwest, but that only applies to those people that enjoy that, Have I been to a Timbers game before? Yeah. Is the electricity, amazing there? Yeah, it is. But again, I'm not really a soccer fan. I'll go for the energy, but it's not really for me. 1-0 pitch, fouled off high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Obviously, if someone has an extra ticket and wants me to go, I'll go, but I don't know. Just like everyone else, some people are going to enjoy baseball, some aren't. Some people are going to enjoy wrestling, some won't. Some people like soccer, some don't. I love NASCAR. You guys probably don't. So, everyone's going to be a little bit different. And obviously, the more you know or the connection you have will make it, easier decision if you love something or not. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. But Sounders and Timbers are very relevant, as far as the soccer side. I know there's, I got a lot of friends that love both of those teams, so. And I think it also depends on if you played soccer growing up. That also, just like any sport, if you played, sometimes you have a little bit more allegiance to something, if you played. And then obviously if you followed, a certain team or a certain player, then you'll have that connection as well. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Two pitch, high and away. Good eye by Randy Arozarena. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 3-2 pitch. And big swing and a miss, and not the day for Randy leading off here today. He was good yesterday, but hasn't been able to find really the rhythm today. 2 away. But I still think that's probably our best option for a leadoff hitter. I think I'd rather have Randy lead off than Julio. Julio leading off is kind of a disaster. He'll do good one game and go 3 for 5, and then he could go 3 games in a row leading off 0 for 5 or 1 for 4 or 0 for 4. So I don't know. We just have to wait for Victor Robles to get healthy, and then he'll be our leadoff hitter, period. First pitch to Cal Raleigh, low and at the knees with the sweeper, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, takes a strike looking, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Bottom of the 7th, nobody on with 2 out. Come on, Cal. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. High and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. 1 for 2 with a base on ball and a K. Come on, Cal. We'll take a single. We'll take a double, but we're looking for home run number 43. Let's go. One-two pitch, and big swing and a miss, and Cal Raleigh strikes out swinging. Brutal. End of the 7th inning, but at least on the flip side, we're only down by 1. Yeah, but I love, going to AAA games, and I know that, for some of y'all, depending on where you live, AAA, single A, high A, double A, depending on what you watch, it kind of depends. But the Portland Beavers, who no longer exist, was at Civic Stadium downtown, and they were the affiliate for the Minnesota Twins when they were winning World Series with Kirby Puckett. So obviously, I couldn't travel to Seattle as a young kid by myself, and it wasn't really in the funds with the family to be going often. So to try to be able to have my love for baseball, to be able to go, when I was 7 to 12 years old, quite a few, times, and have those memories. And not only that, spraining my ankle twice to get foul balls. And that kind of started off my good luck, by going to baseball games and then sneaking down to the front row with a rich couple, security asking me if I'm with them, and they say yes. And then, a Beaver player, hitting a grand slam, me yelling down at them, and, him taking off his batting gloves and throwing them up to me when I was, like 10 years old. And I still have them in a Ziploc bag since 1992. So I've been pretty lucky. And then, I carried over the 2 baseballs and the gloves that I got from the Beavers. And I've been to 10 Mariner games, and I've gotten 3 baseballs. And we understand how hard it is to be able to get baseballs. And again, I've been incredibly lucky. I got a Kike Hernandez ball, a few years before COVID, around 2019. That was my first one. Then I ended up getting a Julio Rodriguez rookie foul ball in 2022 against the Royals and Bobby Witt Jr. Insane. And then a few weeks later, I predicted that when I go see the Yankees, I'm going to get an Aaron Judge ball. People thought I was nuts. 2 weeks later, after I went to the game, guess what? I got an Aaron Judge ball. So again, to be able to get those 3 baseballs in 10 games, that's a pretty good percentage. Obviously, I haven't got one since then. I've tried, but again, it's not easy, to be able to get a home run ball, foul ball, or even to get a ball that's thrown into the crowd after the inning ends. You have to be in the right place in the right time, and that player has to make somewhat eye contact with you, and you just have to be lucky. And I don't end up getting any of my baseballs with mitts. Every ball that I've gotten, all 5, have been with no mitt whatsoever. So I'm a scrapper. I'm a honey badger. All right, Spire is back out there in the top of the 8th. First pitch to Corey Seager, fouls it off right down the middle, 0-1 count. Top of the 8th, 3-2 Ranger lead, and we just need a little bit of Uncle Mo and momentum. 0-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle, no balls and 2 strikes from Spire to Seager. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Spire to Seager. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and a punch out on Seager. There we go, baby, 1 away. Nice job by Gabe. Keep going, Gabe. Down goes Corey Seager on strikes. Next up is Marcus Semien. 1 for 3 with an RBI and a K. I'm not really sure if Cal has an advantage. Catcher is the hardest position to play in baseball. You got to be squatting down on your knees, so you have to have really strong knees. And, obviously they call him the big dumper for a reason, for the posture and being able to hold that weight. You got to be able to be a good defender and throw guys out from the knees to first, second, and third. And then on top of that, you have to hit. You have to hit with power. Cal is lucky enough to be able to be a switch hitter and have power in both. And you also have to be a leader and be able to call a game. And again, Aaron Judge is the best hitter that's in this generation. And again, he's going to go down as like the modern day Mickey Mantle, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays of this generation. If you look at his numbers compared to like a lot of guys that are retired, like Pujols, his numbers and the way that he's trending, he could end up being one of the greatest players when it's all said and done, number-wise. So, again, Judge is amazing. Ohtani, incredible. It's like the modern-day Babe Ruth, pitcher and hitter, right? Even though he's a better hitter than pitcher, right? But, again, and crazy talent. But, like, Cal Raleigh has got a chance, to go down as not only a Hall of Famer, if he can play for another, 10 to 15 years and not have too many injuries. But again, he can go down in this generation of this generation's, Pudge Rodriguez, Buster Posey, Johnny Bench, Yogi Berra, and that's, Mike Piazza. That's pretty exciting. And again, when you end up having a great catcher, it makes the team special because it's not something that you see really that often. And, considering that the most home runs any pitcher, any catcher has hit is 48, Salvador Perez, which is kind of wild to think that he's number 1. Cal is going to break that record not only this year, but it wouldn't shock me if he breaks that record multiple times and we see Cal with 50 home runs a few times or more. And hopefully this year he'll get to 60, but it really depends on how quickly, he can get to 50. And if it takes a while to get to 50, he might end, with like 50 to 59, which is still amazing. But if he can get on a tear, 60 and above is just like fucking insane. Because you got to understand, when you talk about numbers like 50 and up, those are normally like center fielders, right fielders, left fielders, first basemen, not fucking catchers. And that's really what makes Cal, so special. Incredibly humble, incredibly gifted. His dad was a catcher. His brother was a catcher. It's a catcher family. That has something to do with it as well. And, he won the home run derby for a reason. We got Brash coming in for Spire here with 2 outs. And first pitch from Brash to Semien. Grounds out to first. And that is out number 3. I wish. Out number 2. Next up is Adalis Garcia. First pitch from Brash to Garcia. High and away. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. And Adolis Garcia, that's out number 3. There we go. I mean, anytime you can end up getting a slow dribbler or pop-up for that last out, there we go. Go to the bottom of the 8th. We need a run. I mean, we're in it. We're not down by 2, 3, or 4. Logan Gilbert, wasn't great. But again, pitchers do give up, usually 1 to 3 runs, no matter how good they are. I mean, not everyone can be fucking Paul Skeens, where you got an ERA under 2, but no one can get a fucking hit or a home run for you. And again, there's going to be certain guys that are going to be electric, like the Miz with Mizorowski and Skeens and Skubal, but for every great pitcher, they're not going to be great against everyone. And Mariners have actually been pretty fucking good against elite pitching this year. And all we got to do is find a way to be able to get one here in the 8th or the 9th. And let's see if we have the right batting order to do it. And it looks like we do. Next up, 0 for 3 with a K. Let's go 1 for 4. That's not asking too much, Julio. Center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Trident's up. Batting second, 1 for 3 with an RBI. First baseman, Josh Naylor, who's gotten a hit in every game besides 1 or 2, and we love him at first base. And batting third, good vibes only, 1 for 3 with a run and a K. Third baseman, Eugenio Suarez. This would be a great time for his first home run in a Seattle uniform in 2025. And again, maybe we can get that big play that we need in the 8th or the 9th. Let's go. And a lot of it is mechanics too, and people think, the torpedo bat, it's like a corked bat. No, it's not like a corked bat. It's like they took a little piece of the bat at the knob and put it in the sweet spot. And there's all kinds of different lengths and weights of bats. It's not like there's one standard bat that everyone uses, right? And obviously being a switch hitter, your bat that you use right-handed for Cal is different than the left. They're not the same, based on the weight and everything, and the length. But again, you can use a torpedo bat, but again, you still have to connect. Just because you have one doesn't mean you're going to turn into an elite hitter. And people forget, Cal was getting 29 to 34 home runs prior to this monster season, and obviously raising his batting average 100 points from the right side, that'll help. And again, Cal definitely taking his game to another level, and hopefully we'll get some of his teammates to show up and show out so we can win this fucking game. Matan on the mound and Julio in the box. First pitch to Julio, low and away with a sweeper. 1-0 count. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to, obviously, our goal, 125 likes. And we still got quite a ways to go on the dono train. Let's go. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. I appreciate that. I mean, all people need to do is just take a quick peek, if they've hit the like button yet, if they've subbed yet, again, I get it. When people are on YouTube, they're doing their thing, but it really does mean a lot for people that are doing this as a full-time job. When you're supporting not only the streamer, you're supporting someone's dream. And I don't think people really realize that. They just think that, this person's streaming and they're just doing it for fun. Not everyone is doing this shit for fun. This is my full-time job, and it has been, and it will be until I die. So again, anything that we can get support-wise would be huge. Not very many streamers on YouTube have sacrificed a Jordan rookie worth $20,000 to $30,000 for their dream like I did. Facts. 2-2 pitch in play. And Julio grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first. And that is 1 away. Next up is first baseman Josh Naylor. Let's go, Josh. We need you, baby. Bring that electricity. And at least we have 2 guys that have a chance to be able to get a hit, an RBI, or a big home run. Bottom of the 8th, 3-2 Rangers. 1 to tie, 2 to win. First pitch from Matan to Josh Naylor. High and away, 1-0 count. Yeah. It's not only asking for it, I have to feel it. You know, and sometimes with the sports gods, it's something that a message that will come to me. It's a thought, you know, or sometimes just saying it out loud. But also you have to be able to pay attention to body language, the pitch count, you know, and just that overall vibe if you feel it or not. 2-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 3 balls and no strikes to Josh Naylor. And hopefully this will turn into a walk here for Naylor. You know, don't push it here. And there we go. 4-pitch walk, baby. Great to see Naylor have that patience. And again, had that Julio syndrome and the first, you know, few games where he was just reaching and swinging at anything in the first 2 pitches. And when you get down 0-2, unless you're Ichiro, Tony Gwynn, Rod Carew, or Pete Rose, then you're okay. But everyone else, you're typically fucked. So, you know, let's try to go 2-0 rather than 0-2. All right, here we go. Is it time for his first home run in 2025 for the Seattle Mariners? Eugenio Suarez. Are we looking for home run number 37? Let's get it, baby. And we're having Dylan Moore run for Naylor. I hope that's a good decision. Let's go, Gino. Good vibes only. Let's go. First pitch from Maton to Eugenio Suarez, low and away. 1-0 count. Let's go, Gino. Bottom of the 8th, 3-2 Rangers. 1 ball, no strikes with a runner at first. Demo running for Naylor. Naylor's been able to steal bags, and he actually moves pretty well for a big guy. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out. 3-2 Rangers lead. 1 more to 125. I like it. Now we just need to get the dono train on the same level. A little bit behind the 8 ball there with 3, but we still have time to be able to make up for the other 97. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike swinging, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Come on, baby. Good vibes only. Let's go, Gino. Bottom of the 8th, 3-2, Texas lead. 1-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out, and we don't necessarily need a home run. I mean, we could end up getting a double or a single, which would be great. Just keep the rally going, and let's get a tie, and eventually we can hope for that big home run late, maybe a walk-off. But we got to get the tie first, unless we get a big home run by Gino here to take the 4-3 lead. If Gino homers here, we win, you know, based off momentum, but I'm not sure if you're going to get it here. 1-2 pitch. That one is fouled off, low and away. They're not really pitching him down the middle. Everything is low and away, and they've had 1 pitch that they tried to jam him inside on pitch number 3. Cutter. Just got to try to maybe get a similar play like he had yesterday, that line drive, you know, towards third base. That could end up bringing Demo from first all the way home if hit right. Come on, Gino. Bottom of the 8th, 3-2 Rangers. Maton on the mound. Eugenio Suarez, Gino in the box. Good vibes only. 1-2 pitch. Fouled off again, low and away. That's 3 consecutive foul balls by Eugenio Suarez. Curve, and sweeper. And hopefully he'll be able to be patient enough to find the right pitch, and we can capitalize. Let's go, Gino. Time to be a hero, baby. Let them know all day. Let's try to get to 150. We got a few minutes left before the game is up. And we're at 3 on the dono train, 97 to go. So close on that last foul ball. One-two pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Next pitch will be 8 pitches in. And we saw Cole Young, you know, with 10, 11, 12 pitch at bat. I'm not sure if we're going to get to that point, but Gino is grinding. You know, and everything that we get here, you know, goes really towards just the streaming fee, internet fee, and just taking care of my pup, Just the basics to be able to continue the dream. 2-2 pitch. Pitch is low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Matan to Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, baby. Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Matan on the mound. Gino in the box. Megan in the building. How are you? Bottom of the 8th, 3-2 Ranger lead. Runner at first, Demo running for Naylor. Gino in the box. Matan on the mound. 3-2 pitch. And flied out to right. Ooh, I thought that was gone as soon as he hit it, but it falls in play. Oh my, this is gut-wrenching. 2 away. Next up is Jorge Polanco. First pitch from Matan to Polo. Takes a strike looking high and inside. 0-1 count. That is a good question, Cave Troll. If I have the money, but it really just depends on the support that I get. I don't have a secondary job, for me to build this channel up. I've been doing this for, 13 years. I'm 9 years on YouTube. Next year will be 14 years of streaming, 10 on YouTube. So, in the past, when I was trying to get the channel off the ground, I had like 2 regular jobs and then this, and then it was 1 regular job in this as Demo steals second. But I've been full time doing this for, the last like 2, 3, 4 years. So, if we end up getting enough support, yeah, I might be able to go. Obviously, if I, had the funds, would I go? Absolutely, I would go. But realistically, I may or may not, and I have to be able to have my responsibilities here at home with my pup. And if I end up calling the game here, I'll still enjoy it just as much as I would if I was there. Obviously, going in person is better, but Seahawk tickets are not fucking cheap. If anyone knows and has been to a game, I mean, depending on the opponent, it definitely could skyrocket. 1-2 pitch, and Polo strikes out swinging. Brutal. All right, we are going to have to go to the 9th inning. We got to hope and pray that we still hold them to 3-2, and we're going to have to find a miracle to be able to tie it up or have a walk-off win. Oh, could have really used a big RBI there in the 8th, but again, the Mariners are known for the dramatic. Let's see who's up next here for the Texas Rangers in the top of the 9th. Next up for the Rangers, 0 for 3 with 2K, Evan Carter. Batting second, 1 for 3 with 2Ks, Wyatt Langford. And batting third, pinch hitting for Jock Peterson, Sam Haggerty. And Sam Haggerty, the former Seattle Mariner, is 1 for 1. Trident's up. Let's go, Ems. Yeah, and it's going to be, the best dressed, game of the year. Bucks wearing their throwbacks from 76 to white. They've never done that. And obviously Seattle, it doesn't matter if they're wearing blue or white. Anything throwback is, top tier. We obviously know the Eagles and their Kelly Greens. That's a fire look as well. But again, when people end up watching, the Bucks and the Seahawks and what they're wearing, people will definitely be tuning in and seeing some beautiful jerseys.
Not only that, the pant combo that goes with it, with the cleats and the socks, the whole 9 yards. It's going to be sweet. All right, Bizzardo is in the game now, and he's been pretty solid for us, and hopefully he'll be able to hold it down here. First pitch from Bizzardo to Carter, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. One 0 pitch, takes a strike, swinging low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Bizzardo to Carter. One pitch, takes a strike, looking low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Evan Carter. One-two pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bizzardo on the mound, Carter in the box. Top of the 9th, 3-2, Rangers lead. And again, normally we're going to need 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. We're not very well equipped to be able to win typically 1 to 3 runs scored, but we'll see. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And down goes Evan Carter. Nice job by Bizzardo. And again, Brash used to be the number 1. Spire used to be the number 2. And obviously Munoz is an all-star closer. But this guy right here is the most improved player on the team from last year to this year. He used to be terrible last year with Taylor Saucedo. Now he's the most trustworthy guy in the pen, even over guys like Brash, Spire, and Mooney. I mean, lately. Because we've seen obviously Brash and Mooney, blow some games lately and not really play the greatest. And, Gabe is kind of a wild card. I mean, he's a name, but he's not really the most trustworthy. First pitch from Bizzardo to Wyatt Langford. Takes a strike, looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. And tomorrow's game will be at 1:10 Pacific. 0-1 pitch in play and flied out to center, and that's 2 away. And I will be doing the Mariner game, SummerSlam night 1. The card is not very good, so I'm just going to watch that with my pup, and we'll do the Mariner game tomorrow. And then on Sunday, the Mariners play at 1:10 Pacific again, and then I'm going to do that game and hope that it ends before 4. And then night number 2 of SummerSlam on Sunday evening is amazing. It's like a night and day difference. It's like 1 card on Saturday is like a 0, and then night number 2 is like a 10. So I'm going to do night number 2. It'll be a long day on Sunday, but I think it'll be well worth it. So if you are a fan of WWE, as well as the Mariners and baseball, come through and show some love and hang out. Next up is Sam Haggerty. First pitch, takes a strike, looking low and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Fouled off right down the middle by Sam Haggerty. No balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Haggerty. Let's go, Edward. You've been money, baby. (0-2) pitch in play. Grounds out to third. Gino is there. Throw to first. And that is out number 3. All right, last chance for the Mariners. And again, we just need to be able to tie it up. We don't need to be greedy and say, hey, we're going to score 2 and win 4-3. Obviously, that's best case scenario. But sometimes you got to grind it out. So if we can just get 1 and then tie it up 3-3 and go into extras and find a way to win 4-3 in 10, 11, or 12, that'll probably be more realistic. But I would love to be able to win here in regulation. But again, it hasn't really been our day. 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error, not pretty. But on the flip side, they haven't really been playing that good either. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors. So it's been pretty even. Obviously, if Logan Gilbert pitched a little bit better, maybe the game is 2-2 or 2-1. But again, starting pitchers typically are going to give up 1 to 3 runs on the regular. You just don't want them to give up more than that. You give up 4 or more, you're typically fucked, especially if your bullpen is shaky. So we'll see where it goes, and we got to pray for a miracle. Let's see who we have up next. And again, the lineup isn't the greatest here. So we're going to have to hope that, one of these guys can get a hit so it can lead to the next set of batters. Leading off, 0-for-2 with a base on ball and a K, right fielder Dominic Canzone. And we really need Victor Robles, but he's not available yet. Let's go, Dom. We need a Dom bomb, baby. Batting second, 0-for-3 with a K, JP Crawford. Come on, JP. I need that swagger. I need the good JP back. Have some confidence. Let's go. And batting third, second baseman Cole Young. Maybe Cole is the one that most likely to get a hit out of these three, but you never know. Just need somebody to continue the inning, and then after that, it'll go Randy, Cal, Julio if we can get there. Bottom of the ninth, 3-2, Ranger lead. Oh, nice. Where are you going fishing, and what are you fishing for? You know, my first job, and I think that's where I have the work ethic that I do. You know, my first job was before anybody else, you know, in my neighborhood or any of my friends. You know, my dad and my dad's friend was a professional like fisherman and did like crawdads and crayfish and you know, would distribute them to Pacific Seafood and Jake's and a bunch of famous restaurants. So when I was 12, you know, I was making $20 an hour, you know, working, you know, usually 3 hours, and it was an hour drive there and an hour drive back, and I would get, you know, soda, you know, big gulps, you know, Snickers and other stuff, you know, to make it worthwhile. But the whole purpose of me grinding when I was 12, you know, to be making $20 an hour so I could buy my own school clothes. And if you're in my generation, you know, it was about Red Sand and Massimo and, you know, Stussy, Nike, and just being able to, you know, get those types of things. And, you know, it's not like I was going to be able to get that on my, you know, parents alone. So it definitely taught me a lot. And, you know, anything to do with fishing or water, even to this day, it really intrigues me. I'm all about Shark Week, Shark Fest, Swamp People, you know, anything to do with the water, River Monsters with Jeremy Wade. I watch that every night. I don't know, something about the water is just special for me. First pitch from Garcia to Canzone, high and inside, and fouls that one off. 0-1 count. Trout and largemouth bass. You're ready. You're locked and loaded, baby. Bottom of the ninth, 3-2 Ranger lead. I mean, we're right there. It's not like we're down by 2, 3, or 4. We just got to see if someone's going to step up for us. Come on, Dom. Oh, 1 pitch in play, and Canzone with a nice single to right. Here we go. Nice job. There we go, Dom. Great job. And now we got Miles Masterboni coming in to pinch run. Next up is JP Crawford. Come on, JP. You can do it. Believe in yourself. Let's go. Tying run is aboard. First pitch from Garcia to JP Crawford. Low and away. 1-0 count. We just need a meltdown. Can I get a meltdown, please? Let's go, baby. Got to find a way. Bottom of the ninth, 3-2 Ranger lead. Garcia on the mound, JP Crawford in the box. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes to JP Crawford. This could turn into a walk. Let's go. Come on, Mariner Moose. We need it, baby. Give JP the strength. Let's go. Don't swing. And unless it is right down the middle, then you can connect. But it looks like that Garcia is having a hard time hitting the zone. Already gave up a hit. And first 2 pitches were low and away. Just be patient, JP. And I know sometimes egos of players, you know, they want to swing. They want to be the guy. But sometimes it takes maturity to take a step back and just don't swing. You know, especially when you know a guy has a fucking meltdown. Oh, here we go. JP, back. See ya. Boom. Let's go. JP Crawford. Let's get it out of here. Big home run in the bottom of the ninth. A walk-off for JP Crawford. Boom. go. Let's go. For a guy that needed it, he homered on Father's Day, took a couple weeks, homered again, and we said at the beginning of the broadcast, JP is due, and JP with the walk-off 2-run blast. Thank God Dominic Canzone got it done, and that could have turned into a walk unless he saw that perfect pitch. And what do you know? Perfect pitch right down the middle. Back. See ya! Mariners win 4-3. Let's fucking go! Woo! Incredible. And that's what we do, right? Again, you ask, and you get a little help by the sports gods. Thank you, JP. And the crowd chanting JP, JP, JP. I love it. And he's a first-time dad, and that's going to be a big, special moment for the family tonight. And again, a guy, that typically will have, a 15 or 16, game hit streak, or he'll go 0 for 5 like 4 days in a row. There's not really an in-between. So to have JP be the guy that might be the weakest hitter in the lineup 1 through 9 lately, it makes it even that more special when you're kind of known as maybe the weak link, and then you end up being the fucking hero. Incredible. Let's fucking go. Unfucking believable. They're doing the post-game interview now. Crowd is going fucking bananas, dude. Which they should. Unfucking believable. But again, this Mariner team, it feels different, Again, when you end up, bringing up, Gino, and you got Naylor, again, even our weakest guy can end up being the hero. That's pretty fucking special. Final score, Seattle Mariners 4, Texas Rangers 3, and one of the most improbable comebacks that you can imagine here in 2025. And when the Mariners win, what do we do? We fucking dance, baby. Mariners win. Mariners win. Mariners win. Fuck yeah. Let's go. Unbelievable. And again, it kind of felt like something good was going to happen, even if JP got walked. But there's nothing better than getting a walk-off, in the 9th and ending up winning the game. I mean, it would have been awesome just to tie it up. But the simple fact that Dom got that hit, we want to make sure we're giving Dom the proper love as well. Because obviously if Dom gets out, maybe JP doesn't hit that homer. And, again, maybe the weakest hitter, in the starting 9 lately. Pretty fucking amazing. And at the end of the day, it's about tridents up. Let's get it. And fucking incredible, baby. Two down, 2 to go. And, who's to say that we, don't win 3 out of 4 or sweep this team and we start going on a big rally? We need to be able to get it done. And the Astros lose on top of that to the Red Sox. Incredible. Gained 11 subs on top of the 3 or 4 early. And now we needed 46. Now we only need 35. 35 subs to go to get to 21,300. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us extend our numbers. And what an amazing matchup here today. 2 games down, 2 to go, 2 big wins. Game 1, 6-0. Game 2, down 3-2, 2-run blast with a walk-off by J.P. Crawford. Dom with a single, JP getting the job done, and I couldn't be more happy for JP Crawford. Unbelievable. Captain in the building, what's good? There we go. Good job all day. And obviously, we were a little bit behind the 8 ball on the dono train, which will, happen, at times and whatnot. But hopefully, we'll be able to get some people to, understand and show some love. Obviously, moving forward, we will be live tomorrow at 1:10 Pacific, and obviously, that will be the only stream that we do tomorrow. And then I'll watch SummerSlam night number 1 with my pup. And then on Sunday, we're going to be doing the last game in the set, 1:10 Pacific again on Sunday. And then we'll also be doing SummerSlam night number 2, which card is going to be much better than night number 1. So I'm really looking forward to SummerSlam, and I'm really looking forward to game 3 and 4 for the Mariners and the Rangers. And if we end up sweeping the Rangers, again, not a lot of people, especially Ranger fans or haters, maybe thought that we could do it. But when you add 2 of the top 4 guys at the deadline, and we already have a good team, why the fuck not? Again, we have 50 plus games to go off. And again, there's experts like Buster Only that think that we are the best team in the American League. Our record doesn't say so, but after adding Naylor and Gino, if we can get our pitching staff to get better than obviously what they have been lately, who's going to stop us? We know the Astros are good. We know the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, they're going to be doing their thing. The Tigers, we understand. There's a few teams right now that are reeling, Tigers and Yankees. Boston is kind of, getting hot at the right time, catching up to the Yankees. Blue Jays and Astros are still doing their thing, but the Mariners are creeping extremely close. Can't wait to be able to see what this team is going to do. Sarah with a $5, appreciate you. Every dollar counts. And remember, you're not only supporting me, but you're supporting a dream. And every dollar is going to go towards taking care of my pup, or just the basic stuff like paying the internet fee or the streaming fee so I can keep doing my dream month in and month out. Appreciate you, Sarah, very, very much. Stacks, racks with the little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. If there's a photo that you want of a particular player, let me know and I got you. I'll be throwing a couple of JPs up. And then I got to go eat some dinner, spend some time with my pup, and go on a long victory walk here tonight. Let's go, baby. Let's throw up some JPs here, since he is the hero today. And again, out of all the guys on the team, maybe the least likely guy to be the hero out of the 9. And sometimes that's how it works. Less pressure. Make sure that your ego isn't bruised because you went from the 1 hitter to the 9 hole to the 1 to the 8. But this is the perfect spot for you to help us win. And for a brand new father for the very first time and a guy that was overdue for a home run, not only did you get a home run, you got a walk-off. And that's going to be something that Mariner fans, including myself, are not going to forget. And I'm happy for guys like JP, that have to go through the adversity, that have to kind of go through the ego check, that have to understand that, things are not always going to be fair, and again, you're going to have to be able to battle, mentally, physically, battle those demons and just find a way to, believe in yourself and know that you can get it done. And that, obviously you're on this team for a reason. And, it's always great when you can get some story like that where, it's undoubtable, unquestionable. And you see that swing and it is gone. Beautiful, JP. It was almost unreal when he hit it because you could tell it was right on the sweet spot. And as soon as he hit it, man, electricity through my veins. Beautiful. Beautiful job, JP. And again, it's kind of a crazy thing to say. And this is the first time that we've been able to say this, in 20 plus years. We are World Series contenders. We're not pretenders. It's us, right? The Astros, the Blue Jays, Yankees, Red Sox, and Tigers. That's it. The National League, it's Phillies, Mets, Brewers, Cubs, Dodgers, Padres, Giants. It's a lot harder over there, based off the team. So, there's a lot of parity. Who's to say that this isn't our year? Obviously we haven't had the greatest luck. We haven't really had the greatest owner or management. But within the last 2 years, they're actually trying, to make a push. And now it's up to the players and the fans to bring it home. Final score, Seattle Mariners 4, Texas Rangers 3, with a J.P. Crawford walk-off in the bottom of the ninth with Dominic Canzone getting the big hit, and obviously Dylan Moore running for him. Or was it Miles Mastrobuoni that came in that ran for him? Beautiful. I believe it was Miles Mastrobuoni. Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. It's ready for a late dinner and a long victory walk. And again, I will be live tomorrow at 1:10 Pacific. And be here. Hang out with your boy. Like, sub, donate, comment, share, show some love. And let's watch this team do some magic together. Final score, Seattle Mariners 4, Texas Rangers 3. Final in 9 with a walk-off 2-run blast by J.P. Crawford. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And when the Mariners win, what do? We fucking dance. Mariners win. Mariners win. Mariners win. And I got one question for you. Who talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Trident's up, and I'm out. Go Mariners.